Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all, people of all. It's GEEP Variety Show, and now here's your host, GEEP. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm GEEP of GEEP Variety Show, obviously. How you doing? I hope you're doing well, because that's always good to hear. So, I have a great show for you today. Great guest. I'm sure you've seen from the standby screen, NIXIE BRASSFLOWER. Yes, very much looking forward to it. Hello, Maury. Thank you for showing up. Nice little emotes there, emojis. I think that's what they call it. I'm kind of an internet noob in a small, very light sense. Nice shaded cats. I like the shades, though. Very cute. Okay, so let's get right on with the monologue. What's in the news today? Well, folks down in the laboratories of the food variety have invented a new kind of candy, so to speak. So, oh yes, NIXIE indeed, and so our epic adventure starts. And onward as far as epic is concerned, as far as epic craziness is concerned, let's talk about this candy that the labs have created. Well, its design is to encompass and have every flavor of every known sugary treat in my world. Chocolates, gumdrops, vanilla, taffy, anything you can think of is supposed to be in this one gumdrop. You're supposed to just enjoy the heck out of it. The point of this was to give it to children, and then when they consume it, it's supposed to encourage them to eat healthier. How, you may ask, if they're eating every sugary delight their tongues have ever known? Well, there's a little bit of extra ingredients that's supposed to give the children, well, to put it in a nicer term, make them poop a lot. And make them throw up. It is meant to give them a bad, what's the word I'm looking for? Bad association with sugar and make them want to eat healthy. I think it comes as no surprise to anybody that this failed right on its face, because kids are not stupid like that, okay? They eat something they don't like, they spit it up, and they stop eating that thing, and they eat what they want to eat. The kids went back to the usual sugary goods and stopped eating that crappy-ass, deceptive gumball crap. They called it the almighty candy. Almighty piece of crap candy, if you ask me. The shit people come up with to try and control children, it's awful. Well, let's move on to some other news. In the local zoo of my town, that is, there's a batch of smart apes. They call them smart apes. You know, because they come from the smart jungle, where every creature is pretty much very intelligent, problem-solving, from the insects to the reptiles, from the birds to the mammals. You name it, they're intelligent. And at this zoo, there was a zookeeper who was taunting the smart apes, the group of 5 smart apes. And he never fed them bananas. He just ate them right in front of there. And then the apes got together in like a huddle. It's on footage. They go like, yeah, okay, you go that way, I go that way. So the apes band together, and they pointed behind him to see if he would look, and he did. Then they leaped out over the cage, beat the crap out of him, took the bananas, and ran right back in. Mission accomplished for the smart apes. And that zookeeper, needless to say, has been fired. So that's triumph for the smart apes. Yeah, literally, they were like in a huddle going, and you can really see them giving each other hand signals. You go that way, I go that way, I point this way, you go that way, I'm going to throw some shit in his mouth. That did happen, by the way, and then we're good. Okay, break! It was quite a sight to see. It was all captured on footage. Alright. What's that? Oh. Well, I guess I don't really have much news. Normally I do this in sets of 3, so I'm going to have to improv on something. Ooh, here's something. So, for those of you who have paid attention, or have been watching, there was this raccoon that's been giving me troubles lately, and I got it. It was a standoff, though, right? So I heard him rustling about in the garbage, back behind the bins, and I saw him going through the porno mags. They're not mine. I live right next to a porn magazine shop, and they throw it out all the time, so they use my garbage cans because, well, their stuff gets used all the time, and we know why. Anyway, so I was rummaging through those garbage cans, and I saw the raccoon. I cornered him. I took out my sawed-off shotgun, And we had a face-off because he drew a six-shooter. He has a Magnum. Raccoons in my world can fire firearms. They are very deadly, very crazy. But there it was. He and I. Eye to eye. He shot me in the eye, I shot him in the face, and I won. And so, now you can't tell, but one of my eyes are missing. That's because that's what the shades are for, the sunglasses. But don't worry, I'm getting a new one, so it'll all be good in the end. And that's the news. So, let's get on to the real goodies of what you've all came here for. We have a wonderful show for you here today. NIXIE BRASSFLOWER is my guest today. He's awesome. He's a very nice guy, articulate. You'll get to see for yourself with all the amazing things he's been through, what he likes. So let's head on to the next corner where I can introduce the good guest. Ooh, what? Haha, here we are. Ooh, look at those. Those are his links. They are, as it were, over my hat. All right, I gotta sit down in my host chair. Make sure I face my guest. Okay. Now, first, a quick shout out to some recent follows who followed me while I was asleep. Soul Bad Greg, thank you so much for following me. And homoerotic subtext. I'm not making this up. Thank you, homoerotic subtext, for following me. I'm not making it up, really. That's the name. Okay, so that was it. 2 follows. And now, here we go, folks. The moment some of you have been waiting for, or some of you were interested in. My next guest, the mighty, the army-looking, the adorable-looking, NIXIE BRASSFLOWER. Oh, yeah. Come on. Hey, there we go. Hey, NIXIE, say something for the people.
Something.
Yes, there he is. He has said something.
I can hear you.
Excellent.
I can hear you. Neato.
Folks, can you hear him? Can you hear him?
I don't know if my volume has to be turned up a little bit, but then I guess that's something you'd have to do on your end because...
Excellent. They can hear you. They can hear you just fine. Oh, I forgot to play your intro music. Hold on, let's play it right now.
Do I have an intro song? I have a theme song. Nice.
There we go. That was supposed to play when he appeared, but it didn't. But I did it then. Welcome, NIXIE. How are you today?
I'm doing perfectly fine, actually.
Excellent.
Like, perfectly fine is an understatement. Like, I have been really hyped for this weekend, man.
Glad to hear it. Yes, you said you've got lots of things lined up, which we can get to later. I like to let the people know what you're up to at the end of the show so it stays fresh in their mind.
That's cool.
So
that's understandable.
Let's get right into some questionings if you do not mind.
Of course I do not mind.
All right. Let's see. First of all, how did you learn the skills to create your own avatar? He made his own avatar, all the movements and the rigging and whatnot. Where did that come from?
That's actually pretty funny. Okay, I'm going to go on. It's a bit of a long story, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible. Basically,
take your time.
I've been interested in VTubers for a while. I got into them by, I think, watching HoloLive clips. Lots of Kiryu Coco, lots of Korone.
Oh, who hasn't?
And eventually, I was talking to a friend of mine on this holiday park, and he was like, "Yo, HoloLive just announced this English gen, essentially." And I was like, "How have I not heard? I need to know." And eventually I was watching something done by Gura, and I was like, you know what? This sounds like fun. I want this. And I'd already been bouncing around the idea of becoming a VTuber to the friend who introduced me to HoloLive, Ian. And I was telling him, like, you know, the cash investment I could make. Like, the tracking software, I'm willing to part with some of my money for that. But the time investment is a whole nother deal because I'd have to pick up a completely new software that I've never used. And then I caught COVID. So I was kind of forced in quarantine for 10 days, or at least 10 days is what I thought I would have. So I figured this is like life telling me that I have to make the time investment. And so I did. I just started watching a metric ass ton of YouTube tutorials and The art program, I was already decently versed in the. I just needed to get a hang of the new layer system that I'd have to use for Life 2D. But once I got that down, it was lots of questioning my decision, because I was just in Life 2D specifically. There were a lot of days where I was just, yeah. I'm really excited to do this, but I'm so confused. Help me. But eventually, I
Yeah.
managed to get through, and in a week, I had my first functioning model, which you're looking at now.
Wow, this is the result of just 1 week, huh? That's pretty
Yeah.
quick. I gotta say, for just starting out, that's impressive.
Well, the week is it also counts the drawing of the art assets, which took me about 10 hours.
There you go. 10 hours to draw. That over the
10 hours to
course
draw, and I
over
have
the
no
course of a
idea how
week.
long I took to rig everything.
So the 10 hours to draw, do you like do that in like one session or over the course of the week?
I did that in 2 sessions because I wanted to have I wanted to have enough art assets to do a model as quickly as I could. So I spent the first 2 days just doing nothing but drawing.
Oh, okay. So and then that equated to 10 hours.
Yeah, that equated to 10 hours. I was pretty glad, because one thing that a lot of the tutorials said is you don't leave void spaces, as they call them. So
Mm-hmm.
that allows me to do stuff like this and not show off like some sort of hideous void behind my face
Yeah.
and my hair and that sort of stuff. So I needed to draw a lot of things that people would never see.
Yes.
And for all that and trying to do a lot of different layering and stuff, I'm actually like I'm pretty pleased with the 10-hour thing. I thought it would take longer.
I must say I like the results. I've said it before on your trailer. The color scheme is nice. It's a very cute model.
Thank
And,
you, thank you.
and I'll be honest, it does look like more time than just 10 hours was put into its work. It was put into it. I'll be honest. It really looks like
Well,
it
you
was
mean
done.
just the art? Because
I am talking just
the
the art
skill...
and even the rig. It's like to hear that you did that in a week is well, it's beyond my skills.
Well, it's like I said, YouTube tutorials did a majority of the learn work, and then I just essentially you boot up the program and you're like, what the hell does any of this mean? And then you get like the hang of one thing, and then you're like, okay, what do we do next? And then you watch the tutorial again, and you're like, okay, I'll memorize that. And that's kind of how it went. When I got the hang of how deformers worked, that's when I really started to make progress. But that's a whole system that I'm not gonna explain right now. But essentially, it allows me to do stuff like this.
Well, it turned out great. So I'm glad you're here, and with that model, it's very nice. It's very awesome. So let's see. How long have you been doing art? I'm sure you didn't look up tutorials for that. I think you did that. You've been doing that before.
Art is, my God, I've been doing that so long. I've been drawing for as long as I can remember, actually, and eventually like family members started being like, whoa, that's actually pretty good. But I was still a kid back then, and looking back at those drawings, I'm like, I appreciate the gesture, I really do, but it wasn't that good.
It's like, yes, I see the passion, kid. Get a little better.
I primarily drew monsters and robots, actually. Like, I had a
Ooh.
very limited scope of interests. So most of my things would be like monsters with robot parts or tentacles on them.
Hey, you know what?
Because
Don't downplay that, your limitations. I did like a little small comic thing when I was like 12. I called it Aliens versus the Robots.
that's so cool. I did that with a friend of mine. He's one of my best friends, and we used to write comics in primary school.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like the art was nothing impressive because we wanted to get as much story done as quickly as possible.
Yes,
so
yes.
all the characters, except for those that we copied from shows and games that we liked,
Yeah.
all the characters were just stick figures.
Oh, no way.
And the dialogue boxes were even worse because we drew the dialogue box, and then we
First.
didn't. Yeah, and then we didn't take into account how little space there would actually be.
Yes, exactly.
So frequently the text would go outside of the speech bubble.
Yeah.
I've been reading one of these old things with a friend of mine, with the same friend, and it's legendary. It's so much fun to just look back on those old memories.
That it's good that you can have fun looking back at old memories. Sometimes people cringe at them and can't have fun, but it's a good thing that you can enjoy it.
I laugh a lot at them, actually. Also like old art that I used to take seriously.
Yeah.
Like I think I started taking art actually seriously when I was when I got into middle school, I think I was doing a lot of fan art from video games that I liked, and this is when I found out that maybe maybe using just color pencils to draw is a bit inconvenient, and you need line art.
Yes.
So that's kind of what laid the groundwork for what I do now, I guess. And I always explicitly avoided drawing human characters, especially their faces, in whatever style I could possibly do, because faces would always look really dumb.
Hey, just look at my face. This model, me, Jeep, this is based on an old kid drawing I did. This was my idea of what humans looked like.
That's actually really, really cool.
Yeah, this is, I did this. That's why I chose. I want to get that kid flavor across with my model, and also kind of a funny, wacky at the same time. So yes, no, I
mean,
drew...
it works.
Oh, thank you.
Also, we're the Hat Gang now.
Yes, the Hat Gang. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess digital art that I improved in a lot quicker than traditional, because traditional mostly what people liked about my traditional work was the amount of detail that I put into the line art, because my color was always just flat coloring,
Yeah.
So when I started trying to do shading not that long
shading
before
is rough.
Traditional shading is, for lack of a better word, it's a bitch. You really have to take into account the colors and where exactly everything goes. But then when I found out that digital was a thing, and not gonna lie, when I was an edgy, pretentious 14-year-old, I was always like, digital art is for casuals, man. Like you press one button and all the art just comes out. It's way too easy. No, I was so wrong. So I picked up digital because an online social media platform that I was on at the time. I've deleted that now because I haven't used it in years. But somebody had an art tutorial for this free program called the Ebis Paint X, and I was like, you know what? I want to try that. I'm the sort of kid that would unironically have a sketchbook with him wherever he goes, and now I don't need that. Now I need my phone, and I have that thing with me all the time anyway.
Well, that's great. Like, you can practice anytime you want then.
Exactly. And shading is... I used to have this hard style of shading where it's kind of more of a typical anime thing where there's just like hard lines instead of the more gradient thing that I use nowadays.
Yeah.
But then I found out that I was doing a drawing of... what was his name? Bondrewd from Made in Abyss. It's a really dark anime series.
I've heard of that one. I've heard of it. Yes. Go on.
Neato. I was doing a drawing of that guy, of Bondrewd from Made in Abyss, and then I found out that the blur tool was a thing, and that changed my life. Holy shit!
The what?
Shading
I'm sorry.
was suddenly
the what changed your life?
Shading suddenly looked twice as good for half the precision. Like, it's still a lot of effort, but I didn't need to precisely fiddle around with all the lines, and especially like since I use my phone for my digital art, I often have this problem where if I zoom in and I do like a line, then I kind of already reached the end of my screen, so I have to zoom in a little further to another part and continue the line, and you would always see that. But now I use blur for all my shading; it's not noticeable, and I can just do whatever I want.
Oh, that's a relief. Was blur always available, and you like just discovered one of those things was always there but didn't know what it was, or did you just?
It was always there, and I was just. I was so stubborn. There's hundreds of brushes available in the program, and it sounds like I'm selling it now, but I'm really not. Like, and I just didn't use any of them. I just used the single thing, the default brush, and that was literally it.
Well, there you have it. The great discovery with what's already there. That's always fun, and also makes you feel kind of stupid at the same time.
I mean, I was really glad when I figured it out, and I was like, okay, there's this one character that I really need to try this on. So I kind of never continued my Bondrewd drawing, actually.
Oh, never continued. Sorry, what's the name again?
The character that I didn't continue?
Yeah.
Bondrewd from Made in Abyss.
Bondrewd. Sorry, Bondrewd.
Yeah, he's kind of messed up.
Well, I'm glad you found the blur. The blur that
yeah.
binds us all. And art, evidently.
Yeah, it's what allowed my model to look the way it does.
Well, it's like everything convenient that you just need for your model was coming in at the right times. That's good.
Yeah, even like I said, it's just like life was like, make the time investment, damn it, do it.
And you did. You can't say you didn't. You're here. You're now.
Exactly. My mentality going in was just like, I've been wanting to do this for, I think it was a month now, and I'm going to regret this so hard if I don't try it. And if I did, then it's not as if I had anything better to do.
Well, I'm glad you're here. You're a very pleasant person to talk with. So, and a
Thank
nice
you,
guest.
thank you.
Yes, no, it's true.
I mean, the feeling's mutual.
Well, thank you. I worry about that sometimes. Like, am I too high pitched or whatnot? I tend to talk a little loud. I'm afraid my mic won't pick it up, so I worry that might annoy my guests sometimes, the viewers.
Your mic picks you up just fine, and I don't think your voice is too high pitched. I actually think it really
awesome.
works.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Okay, so I have another question. What's the hardest and the easiest thing you discovered since becoming a VTuber?
Okay, that's a good one. The easiest thing. Okay, no, wait. I'm gonna start with the hardest one first. The hardest for me was marketing myself and getting viewers. I
Yes.
Okay, so I never did a proper debut. I think I've mentioned this once before, but I never did a proper debut. I just started streaming and I never stopped. Because, like I said, I thought I had but 10 days to fulfill my dream of becoming a VTuber. And I figured I am not going to waste time setting up all these different art assets for a proper debut video. I'm just going to stream this weird-ass game that I happen to have in my library, and we're just going to roll with it.
Right, and ended up being more difficult with as far as getting viewers was concerned than expected.
Well, it was difficult for a bunch of reasons. One, the game's kind of obscure. Like, it's this cult hit GameCube game, and a second thing is I didn't know how you would properly title something. So my first couple streams were just called Nixie Plays Killer 7. And nobody knew who I was, so they didn't have any reason to care. I didn't put VTuber in my title or in my description, so nobody had any reason to come by my 0 follower channel.
Right, of course.
And
using
all the people that did were people that I knew in real life. I do really appreciate them coming by the way.
Yeah,
always fun.
They got your back. That's good.
Yeah, and then I think I just started using YouTube as like an archive for all my streams because I couldn't handle the fact that Twitch would delete them after 14 days.
I know what you mean.
I needed an archive because I think it's fun to watch things back.
Yes, no, I agree. That's what I use YouTube for.
Yeah, and then I started playing Fallout New Vegas because I wanted to do it anyways, and I figured, blind playthroughs are fun. I watch blind playthroughs.
Ooh, that was you blind played through that one.
Yeah. The only thing that I knew about New Vegas was the story of Vault 11. I was like genuinely impressed by some of the intricacies of the main story alone. Like, I thought, oh, I'm just delivering this piece of junk to who knows where.
And then turn into something else.
So much more complex than that.
Those are like some of the best stories, right? You think you get the idea, it's so simple, and then it evolves.
Yeah, some of my favorite works of fiction do that. It's one of my favorite. You can't really call it a trope because you have to actually put the effort in.
That's true. Trope is something you just pull out of a hat of tropes.
Yeah, exactly. It's the free ideas bucket.
Yeah, use them as you please. They're overused, but use them.
Exactly. There's no copyright to tropes. But
yes, yes, there isn't. You can't copyright certain ideas, certainly not the tropes.
Exactly. So. After when I did Fallout New Vegas, because it has a very dedicated fan base, that's when views started rolling in, and that's when I realized maybe I should put the fact that I'm a VTuber in my titles, and that helped a lot. And then there were some people that actually stuck around who just happened to discover me because I was playing Fallout New Vegas, and that was like the best feeling of all time. 6 months later. No kidding, 6 months later was when I decided, hey, maybe I should make a Reddit account simply because I wanted to collaborate with people. That was literally the only reason. Because I went into Google and I just typed in small VTuber looking for collaboration partner, and the first results were from Reddit, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll cave, I'll make a Reddit account.
Okay. So it was not by choice, it was more like okay, I gotta do this to get the word out.
To get in contact with people, and it's one of the best decisions that I've made since becoming a VTuber.
Well, for all you folks, that's how you got in contact with me, so...
Exactly. It's how I got in contact with you, it's how I got in contact with Maury, it's
how
I got in contact with Rin also.
Oopsie. That was a little glitch there.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I see
Everyone saw
everything.
that.
There is no escape.
Everybody saw it. We're live. That's okay. I'll just edit it out later.
It's cool. It's cool.
Oh, I hate it when sometimes things glitch out like that. Or was that a glitch? Did I click it? I think I might have clicked it. That was my bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
Anyway, is there you said we were talking before. There's something you wanted to bring up here when we got here. Was there something like interesting you wanted to bring up? I thought there was. I can't remember precisely what it was. I'm sorry.
Well, there is a thing. I didn't know if I was going to be able to bring it up because it kind of depended on a video that I was making. I was editing the finale for my Fallout New Vegas series on YouTube, which you should totally check out, by the way, because I've spent a lot of time editing that. Shameless plug. But I made the announcement that I have actually put the effort into making background environments now. So I can do a debut video, and I can do a just chatting stream without it looking really, really awkward.
Wow, are you planning to do a debut stream?
Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do it as a stream or video yet, because if I wanted to do it as a stream, well, the problem is specifically debuts usually answer frequently asked questions,
Right.
and I need to gather questions first.
Well, you could just pretend.
I could go with some of the general ones, like say, what's your favorite video game? What kind of music do you listen to? I could go on about those two things alone for literal days.
Well, there you go. So, maybe you don't need a frequently asked questions. You just need to talk about yourself, kind of thing. If you want to do it live, at least.
That also works. I think debuts do really help push people to not necessarily the next level, but they do help push views a little bit, because there's a lot of people who just spend time watching VTuber debuts and they just stick around the people that they like.
Yes, true. So you put VTuber debut on that. At least that's a platform where people are searching and looking up, like you said. Yeah. And
exactly. So that's why my streaming career, it was kind of an uphill battle to get like even a single viewer on average, but it worked.
Hey, you know what?
Eventually.
That's thanks to you. It's not just thanks to anybody. You put in the work, and it got out there. They heard you.
Heck yeah.
I remember you telling me you were rated by a very popular VTuber. Who
Not
was
a VTuber. I was rated by a regular streamer called McFoodie. I think that's how you pronounce it. But she was playing Resident Evil, and I was playing Resident Evil, and she just finished her stream. And
how did she hear about you?
Just hop on down. Huh?
How did she hear about you, McFoodie?
I don't know how she heard about me, actually. She just kind of rated me, and then we chat via chat room for a second. But then it turned out that I was a little further ahead in the game at the exact moment, and I didn't want to spoil it for her. So I decided to be as vague with my terminology as possible, because I did remember the solutions to some puzzles that she hadn't gotten to. So I was just like, yes, I'm going to insert this thing into that thing, and that will unlock the thing. And then I can progress the game. I was talking like that for the...
Taking out the wrong context. I'm going to insert that thing into that thing, and it will unlock that thing. Yeah.
Exactly. It unlocks the thing.
Well, inserting things usually does unlock things.
I'm strictly talking about keys here, guys. Don't take that out of context.
Yes, folks. We're talking about keys here, okay? Not everything is is a lewd innuendo, right? Sometimes you just want to fist something means you want to punch something, okay?
Exactly. Don't you just feel like fisting something in the face occasionally? Like
exactly. Like I want to mush.
I don't. I'm not really that violent of a person, but
sorry, I didn't mean to go with a violent context. I'm just trying to think with the funny, something that's a very obvious lewd reference. So I use the fisting term.
I mean, something that my dad always said is, "I'm really good in bed," and then people were like, "What?" Oh yeah, I just mean that I can sleep for days at a time. That's a classic, and I've totally colonized that, so it's mine now.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Like you just you gotta just ask the beds, and they'll say, "Yeah, he's great. He never leaves. He's always with me. He's so supportive." Just ask the sheets.
Exactly.
Ask the mattress.
He's such a wholesome guy.
Exactly. The bed will tell you. Now everybody farts in their sleep.
Not the people.
Yes, the beds, not the people. the bed will be like, everyone farts in their sleep, but we don't have noses, so it's okay. The mattress.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. So yeah, but that's indeed also a thing.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I completely forgot that rating was even a thing, because I'd been streaming for so long and it kind of never happened. So it was just like, who cares? Like, and then it happened, and now I'm like, for a while, I was just really trying to figure out how rating works.
Oh, I just want to read some of the comments that Morty has said. Yes, and Nixie out of context. Yes, Nixie out of context. Oh no, we can't have Nixie out of context. That's a nice guy. Come on. If we're gonna put him out of context. Wait. Oh, go on.
I came here to say things and have context, and I'm all out of context.
No, you went there. You went there. Okay, hold on. Now I need to go somewhere. I got nowhere to go. Let's continue with you.
Good, that's good. It's sometimes you just have like, oh yeah, that's a genius idea, and then you just immediately forget it.
Yes, there you go. It's okay. I'll probably corrupt him. That's what Morty said. Oh,
it's already started, Maury. Remember sandpaper dildo? No. Oh dear. Well, wherever you use that, make sure you bring lotion. Make sure you bring lotion wherever you use that. Make sure you bring lotion wherever you go. You never know.
That's true. And sunscreen. Morty, how could I ever forget? Oh, you two have said some things behind the scenes that needn't be said here. Or
it's not even behind the scenes. It was literally on the stream.
Oh, well, no, I look like the fool. God damn it. Okay.
No. It's cool. It's cool.
No, I'm playing around. I'm playing. It's hard to tell.
No, I'm one of those. I wouldn't describe myself as a mom friend, but I do always try to make sure people that I talk to are just doing okay.
Oh, that's very nice. No, that's nice. No, thank you. No, I mess around a lot, so it's all good. It's actually quite hard to upset me. I end up upsetting myself the most than anyone else. So.
I guess the only one who knows to upset me is me.
Exactly. I look in the mirror and I just go, "You son of a bitch! You're always there, always."
Like, you son of a bitch! I'm in. Sorry.
I didn't get that reference, so it's nothing to apologize for.
It's Rick and Morty.
Oh, Rick and Morty.
I have a friend of mine made me watch a lot of it, and I don't reference it that much, but I did think that was like an opportunity that I couldn't pass up.
Well, there you go, folks. Rick and Morty fans. There was a reference. Here's your new homie for Rick and Morty. At least for that reference.
I speak in fluent reference, by the way.
There you go.
Like, except a lot of things that I like are kind of obscure, so like half the time nobody notices.
Sorry. Your mic kind of blanked out. Can you say something? I thought it just.
Oh, I said I speak in fluent reference, but most of the things I like are very obscure, so nobody really notices.
Hey, it's real fun when you find somebody who does notice.
That's true.
So keep at it. You'll find the obscure.
Okay, this is a bit of a tangent, and it wasn't really an obscure reference that I was making, but it was really fun regardless. So before 2020, I think this was somewhere in 2019 or 18.
Sure.
Early 19, late 18, somewhere like that. Me and a friend decided, hey, let's hit the town for the first time in my life, because I tend not to go out and go to bars very much. But we decided to, hey, let's have a good night on the town,
Yeah.
And we went into this bar. It's a bit of a rock/metal themed bar, and I was talking to this friend of mine about Hellsing Ultimate Abridged, and I was doing an impression of one of the main characters.
Yeah.
And this dude, this random dude next to me, he just finished. He replied in the same way that the character in the show did.
So some random guy,
dude, you didn't.
So some random guy in the bar knew what you were referencing and replied to what you were doing. Oh, that was.
I was like, oh my god, you're also a weeb. You're also a fucking degenerate.
Now you were thinking that, or did you actually say that?
No. I was actually like, damn, that's nice.
Okay, then in the cool way. Yeah, no, I get you. Did you end up talking with him more beyond that, or did that was that moment?
It was really just a one-time thing, because like he left pretty soon after because like one of his other friends had to go or something like that.
Oh, I see. Well,
and we never got each other's contact information, but it is a pretty fun occurrence that happens, because typically I always keep like the weeb stuff to myself.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I'm always like, I don't think there's many people who would understand, but when you do find someone, it's always legendary.
Hey, you know what? That's good stuff when that happens. I'm glad that happened too. That's really fun. I'll go over on a similar experience, and after that, if you're up for it, we've had a good talk so far. I think the audience has got a good taste of the mighty Nixie. If you'd be up for moving to the performance corner afterwards.
Hell yeah! Then I'll just grab the I'm just gonna say what it is. I'll grab the thing.
Yeah, grab the thing. Grab it good. Grab it hard and don't let go. Uh, so a similar experience, not precisely similar, but in the context that a stranger did show up and interacted with us. Perfect stranger was my brother and I with our grandfather. We were eating the food in a Chinese restaurant, right? And my brother, the way he eats lobster, right? It's like a concentrated ritual in that he takes his time, he uses his hands, really gets in. He loves it. Cantonese style lobster, his favorite. He's eating this 5-pound lobster all to himself right in front of him. The restaurant really likes us. We went there every day and always gave them a tip, and they always like, see you tomorrow. And they were right because we went there every day. It was this
That sounds like a very chill place.
Yes, no, yeah, we loved it, and because it was during our vacation, we go on vacation to this place. The place is in the area where we vacation because we would go fishing there. Fishing was the main theme of the vacation, and then we find a good restaurant, and that was the restaurant we went to every day, every morning for breakfast, and dinner. So
Nice.
Yes, my grandfather loved doing that. He would save up for that. And so, anyway, my brother's eating the lobster, and the way he eats just engages people because some of the people in the restaurant were looking at him just like, "Whoa, look at him go," kind of thing. And then out of nowhere, this guy comes by and pats him on the back. My brother doesn't even notice, and he says, he's really good eater." And then he just leaves the restaurant.
He just leaves the restaurant.
Yes, he wanted to pat my brother on the back first.
He didn't want to deal with the consequences. He was just focused on getting the fuck out of there.
Yes. Well, but he was nice about it. But yes. So there's an example where a stranger just walked up and kind of left quickly. So I just wanted
to... The way you said, like, it's a concentrated ritual just had me thinking, like, dude, like, breaks part of the lobster open while it's still alive and draws a pentagram in its blood so he could, like, appease the unholy demons that he worships while he has his lobster.
Okay, that would be too realistic.
I always have these very vivid visual images when someone describes a certain thing that happens. So
poor choice of words. At the very least, imagine just someone so engaged in eating lobster. It looks like it's like he's putting on a show, but he's just eating.
It looks like he's putting on the show. That sounds like it'd be pretty epic, actually.
Oh, it is. It's just. I love my brother. My colors. Blue's my favorite color, and red is his. That's why I chose that color scheme.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So, no, we're very close. So, all right. So, I'm going to get things set. I'm going to go back to the standby screen and get everything ready for the performance. Get ready, folks. Nixie's going to be doing voices. It's going to be the longest...
bunch of them, yes.
Yes. It's going to be the longest performance I've ever done. I've ever written for anybody up until this point. Nixie requested it, so I wrote him up a good one. It took a little while to come up with this story, actually. Longer than I expected, but it was worth it. So.
It's like that. I don't know if you've ever seen that Japanese ad of just long man. That one?
No, I haven't.
Ah, damn! It's like that, but in story form. It's fucking hilarious. I should show you sometime. I'll send you the link when we finish streaming. Yes. It's absolutely hilarious.
Please. So first, I'm going to go to the standby screen.
Heck yeah!
There we go. I shall return this at the very least. Now no one can see me messing with stuff.
Now no one can see me messing with the fabrics of reality itself.
Exactly. All right. Okay, good. That's looking good. All right, let's go into that transition one. People can still hear us, by the way, Nixie. I'm just letting you know.
That's good. That's why I made the joke of messing with the fabrics of reality, because I figured people would be able to hear. It's like, wait a sec. Now they don't have any visuals, so it's like,
Hello, welcome to today's ASMR episode.
That's Nixie, by the way. Very nice.
I do that as a joke sometimes. Sometimes I also do like sometimes when I do like an impression for a character, I also get like really uncomfortably close to the microphone. So that you really get that like 1040p experience.
Yeah, like you're right there with them.
No. Like you're chatting over Xbox Live.
oh, like that.
I never actually used Xbox Live, but it has a reputation.
Oh, I know what that is. Unless, of course, it's changed over time. I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, so here we go. Let's transition to the performance corner. Here we are, folks.
Ta-da!
Nixie is here. Yes. Nixie is the star. Now, let me see. I just want to make sure I can do this. Good, I can move you around like that. Good.
Okay, cool.
Because you're going to be walking around and stuff. I'm going to make you a little larger. All right, so
A little bit, just
I'm going to disappear because my character doesn't appear for a little bit. So I'm just going to go away for now.
that's cool.
And Nixie, you got the script open and everything, right? So you know how the scenes are going to
Heck
flow,
yeah,
right?
that's the thing that I was referring to.
Okay, good, good.
The thing that I had to grab.
So let's make Nixie disappear for now. Okay, he disappeared.
Boop.
All right, here we are, folks. Time for the performance corner. So our setting right now is in a dark laboratory, mysterious and very sinister looking. And we will, so this is our scene here, and you'll just see how the show goes. Let me bring out our first character. Boom, there he is. There we go. That's better. Let me make him a little smaller. There you go. Okay,
He's a small boy. He's a small boy.
He's a small boy. He's got a yo-yo. Okay, so the story's in the laboratory, and here's the doctor. Okay, I'll be voicing the doctor. I, the great Doctor, makes a nonsense. I am so close to my greatest invention yet, or my greatest endeavor. I don't know what to call it, but it's something with an air sound. I'll come back around it later. Okay, what do I need? Still, okay, I need that. I need that. And I need... Wait, what the heck is that? Oh, I need that. Okay, excellent. All right. Progress waits for no man. Where is my boy? Nixie? Nixie.
Yes, Doctor.
Ah, welcome. Welcome, my large giant Nixie. Oh, you're bigger than I remembered. Hold on. Let me just...
Yeah, I had a bit of a spontaneous growth spurt yesterday. I just kind of woke up, and I'm a little bigger than I remember, yeah.
A lot bigger. It's scary. Let's just shrink you a little bit. There we go. I just used my shrink ray. There we go. Bzzz. You can't hear it. It's a silent shrink. It's a silent shrink ray. Don't worry. You're at workable size. You're normal. You're good. So...
do I have to worry about any side effects from that, or are we good?
No, the only side effect would be that some things that were already small may never come back. But don't worry about those. It's just like fingernails or, hair or something like that. Unless,
dear.
yeah, so don't worry. Unless you already started with something very small, it's likely it's still there. Okay? Okay.
That's good enough.
So, my dear Nixie, I have a mission for you.
Ah, what do you require, Doctor?
I require you to retrieve certain items to complete my experiment. And of course, as your reward, well, I'll get to that at the end. I need you to recover the castle, a miniature castle from the toy maker. You know where the toy maker lives, yes? He's in that weird...
Yeah, he's not that far away.
Yes, no, he's my neighbor. So just go next door and knock him out, or just get the miniature castle by whatever means necessary. So you got that?
Yeah, I was like, do we have to take the violent route? If I could just talk to him, that would be nice.
Sure, if you want to be.
I mean,
civil.
I might be a trained assassin, but I enjoy the occasional bout of dialogue, I'll have you know.
Very well, very well. If you want to be civil, you want to be kind. I don't like him. He's ugly, so I don't like ugly people. But do as you wish. It is your job. I trust you. And so I need his miniature castle. I want his miniature castle. And after that, I need you to go to the dark cavern and retrieve a tooth from the fan ogre. That's fan ogre. And you'll see what I mean when I say fan when you see him. And I need And last but not least, I need a Jeep.
Would you mind telling me what that is?
No, because I had to go to the bathroom. I just took a laxative. All right, be on your way, Nixie. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Okay, I'll be on my way.
And thus the story is set.
And so I embark on my epic quest to retrieve the fetch quest items.
We now leave the weirdness of the lab and enter... Oh, whoa, wrong button. Sorry, folks. The toy maker shop. Bunch of weird doodads in here. Nixie has entered through the rooftop. Boom!
Yeah, I just kind of make this really cool pose as I land. That's what I do.
But you can't see it because he's limited in movement.
I'm very limited in movement. But let's get back to...
The ruckus has awoken the toy maker, who was sleeping, and he shouldn't be sleeping. The store hours are now, but he has awoken, nonetheless. Well, that's...
Okay.
I don't want to.
Yeah, there you go. Just
there we go.
spawn him in. There you go. What was that noise? Good morning, Mr. Toymaker. I require an item from you. Would you mind handing it over? If you ask me on a Monday, I would say yes. What do you need? It's quite simple, really. Apparently you're in possession of a miniature castle of sorts, and I need that. Well, first I'll have you solve one of my riddles, and once you're done with that, I might consider handing it over. That's... You know what, I'll just... Fine, Doc, maybe you were right. Well, okay, here we go. What walks on 3 legs and knocks him the fuck out just like BAM!
So, I'm a...
Oh, God.
He's out. As you can see, he has been
I'm
turned.
Sorry. I'm sorry, good sir. Violence, it had to be. Let me just pick up that castle over there.
And thus, he got the castle. And here it is. Jung.
Papa!
The miniature castle is in NIXIE BRASSFLOWER's hands. 1 item down, 2 to go. And the toy maker was never the same again. Safe to say, he may never recover from this incident. But that's his fault for being a pain in the ass.
Just a sec. My body reverted to my emotionless stare state there.
No problem.
Okay, the next item on my list should be that fan ogre thing's tooth, whatever that was.
And thus, NIXIE progresses to... Go on.
I guess I'll head there now.
I'm sorry, I have no music. NIXIE moves on.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
And thus, the Toymaker shop is over, and NIXIE moves into the dark cavern.
Wow, quite a space this is. Wonder what kind of thing lives here. I mean, I knew the doc said I'd know what it was when I saw it, but Fan Ogre doesn't exactly give me much to work with, I think.
Dong, 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 dong. Enter the Fan Ogre. Whoops.
Okay, I was just like, yeah, where is he?
The Fan Ogre is, hey, this is your cue, Fan Ogre.
Oh, okay. What do you want? Well, it's pretty simple. I require... What the hell? I guess the doc's description makes sense now. Good morning, good sir. I require one of your teeth, actually. Would you mind handing them over? No! I say we fight it out! Damn it, why does everything make me resort to violence today? You know what, I'll give it a shot, he says, jumping into the air and attempting to grab one of the thing's teeth in the mouth that it has somewhere. Ah, God, this wind is just pushing me back! I gotta figure out a different strategy. I don't think I'm physically strong enough to take this thing on. Okay, I got it. Ogre, I'll make you a deal. What is it? Well, it's quite simple. I just wanna... You talk a really big game about how strong you are and wanting to fight things out all the time. I invite you to do a little challenge, a little thing that I just thought of. How about you rip out one of those teeth of yours, but you don't react. Like, you don't scream out in pain, you don't do anything, really. You just pull the thing out. You think I'm some sort of stupid, don't you? You just came into my cave, demanding what are my teeth. I like my teeth just the way they are, I'll have you know. Fine then, I'll just resort to violence. Again. But I'll have to take a different approach this time, because I can't take this thing on from the front. Wait. All of my many hours of stealth training have come back to me. I'll just sneak around him, and I'll jump over his neck and pull the thing out from the back, where I don't have to deal with all the wind that's being blown in my face. Yeah. Meanwhile, the fan ogre's just standing there like, "What? Where'd he go?" And then I simply jump onto its neck.
Pluck!
What?
Nixie's gone.
Disappeared into the night.
Fan Ogre, meanwhile, still looking for
Where'd he
him.
go? He just stands there, continuously defending himself with no idea where I went.
Nixie has succeeded in retrieving the second item, and the Fan Ogre has no idea. Truly enough, Nixie was correct. He would not be able to tell if something was removed from his mouth.
Well, maybe he would be able to tell if he kept up his dentistry a little bit.
Oh, ring ring, by the way, I forgot to tell you, this is for the audience, this is a slip up on my part. If you do retrieve these items, I will grant you one wish. Okay, Dr. Makes no sense out.
Ah, I just received a radio transmission from the doctor. What? Grant me one wish. That's... I mean, he did forget to tell me what my reward would be, but what am I going to do with my wish?
And thus, Nixie has progressed to the bridge, where he intends to figure out exactly what a GEEP is, since the scientists did not explain so.
And he didn't bother explaining it in his second radio broadcast either.
Exactly.
So, it's been a long, exhausting day, so let's just hope this... Whatever a GEEP is doesn't give me too much trouble. Let's just hope I won't have to punch it.
So he was
Being able to talk things out is nice, I say, pulling out my phone to figure out what the hell a GEEP is.
Yes, using his intelligent, his intelligence resources, he looks on the internet.
By the power of Google, I command thee, tell me what a GEEP is, with a G specifically, because if he meant GEEP as in the vehicle, he would have pronounced it differently. Because I know the doc, and I know the way he talks.
And thus the GEEP has appeared. He found out that the GEEP is
What?
indeed right behind him on the underneath the very bridge he is sitting next to.
What the? That might be exactly what I'm looking for. Hey, little guy, what's up?
Who are you calling little?
Hello?
Get up close.
I did.
Get up close.
I kind of had an unexpected growth spurt today, so...
Well,
I tend to call a lot of things little.
well,
That's...
I'm a lot bigger than you think. And by the way, you're
You
interrupting
are,
me.
yes.
I am trying to eat some rocks here. Ow! Fuck.
How's that working out for you?
Blech. Not as well as you may think. Rocks are very hard.
I mean, yes, that's kind of why I expected that it wouldn't work.
Yeah, but I left these in the riverbank. They should be soft by now. Soft like cupcakes, but they are hard like acorns.
Yeah. Wait, I have an idea. I know a guy who might be able to help you with that specific conundrum you're having.
I don't buy it. No one can help me with this but me. It all has to be me, my original idea. It's all about me. I gotta get through this myself. I have to keep moving forward and eating these rocks.
No. Like, he's a very
Good.
trustworthy source that I know. He's a very intelligent guy, and he's worked on...
No, I don't trust
What's the
intelligent
word?
guys. I don't trust intelligent people. I trust the stupid people. They're more liable to be funny. I don't like to trust unfunny people. Smart people are not funny. Ow!
Hey, then you've never met the doc. He's very smart, and he's also funny.
I don't trust a guy named Doc either, especially with his first name being
He's
Doc.
not named Doc. I just name him that because his name is very complicated.
Yeah, okay. I see. I don't buy it. I think you're making shit up. I think you want to I think you want my rocks. That's what you're after. You're after my
Okay.
rocks. Okay. You want my pebbles.
I'm not after
you
your
want my
rocks.
boulders.
That I will promise you. What?
I said you want my boulders. I've got 2 of them, and I'm working on a 3rd.
I am not interested in your boulders. I'm more interested in you specifically.
Me.
I've never seen someone like you before.
That makes 2 of us. Every time I look in the water, I think I'm about to face a brand new creature, but it's just me. Ugh. Little problem is I'm not having a mirror. Ugh.
Well, water. I mean, it has some degree of reflectability. It's good.
Of course it
Enough.
does. I just said I can see myself in it. You have to look. Okay, I'm sorry I'm a little hostile. It's just I've been trying to eat rocks all day. My teeth keep falling out. I had to keep putting new teeth in, makeshift teeth and whatnot. And ooh, that looks like an interesting tooth you got right there. What kind of tooth is that? Ooh, that's not it. That's the fan ogre from the previous scene. That's an interesting tooth there.
Yeah.
Could I put that in my
That's
mouth?
Interesting.
There it is. Ooh, that Ooh, it looks pretty. Can I put that in my mouth?
Cut you a deal. You can put it in your mouth if you come with me.
Ooh, this looks very promising. I think I can eat like 2 rocks with these 3 prongs. Oh wait, no, 4. This is 4, right? It's got 4 prongs, right? Or is that 3?
Yeah.
4? Excellent.
You could eat all the rocks with these prongs. You have no idea.
Oh. Hey, is that a miniature castle I see in your pocket?
Yeah. I just got it today, actually.
Ooh, this thing
Let's just say I solved someone's riddle for it.
A riddle castle. Oh, I love this. Okay, riddle me this. What tries to eat rocks but succeeds every day, and yet does not succeed every day?
You?
I forgot. No, wait, no, that was something else. Let's just say it is me. Ha! You have solved the riddle, but that doesn't mean I'm going to follow you. You have enticed me, however. A tooth that enables me to eat rocks, and a miniature castle that you riddled out of somebody else.
Because my skills with riddles are just impeccable.
I can believe it. I can believe you solved that riddle when I couldn't even remember what the fuck it was. So,
Exactly.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put these back in your pocket because I'm a nice guy. I don't just take things from people.
That's good.
Of course, I'm not a thief. These rocks is free. You know, rocks are free. Nobody cares if they miss a rock. Well, there was that one guy, but
But we don't talk about him, do we?
No, we don't. Especially since he tried to. Never mind. So, let me ask you something. If I am to go see the doc with you. Or this hard to pronounce name Doc with you. What else can you offer me besides the ability to eat rocks? It's just a hobby of mine, mind you. A hobby I am invested in, but it's not my passion. What are you passionate about? And let's see if we click on that. You look like a secret agent.
Yes.
Do you know James Bond?
I've heard of him. I have heard of him, but I have not ever met him.
Everyone's heard of him. Try again.
What do you mean? I said that I've heard him. I just never met him in person.
Oh, what is your name? Did we introduce ourselves?
My name is NIXIE BRASSFLOWER.
NIXIE BRASSFLOWER, how you doing? I am GEEP. Well, NIXIE, I really wish you knew James Bond, because that guy owes me $10. So,
Ooh,
if you
sounds like an interesting tale.
I beat him in
How did he come to owe you money?
I beat him in poker. He said he was the greatest poker player, and I was better. He didn't realize that I cheat, so I got him.
Yes, it's fine as long as nobody figures out.
Exactly, and he never did figure it out, so he owes me $10. He accused me of cheating. At that point, I just ran away, and I'm planning to come back after him later, but,
I think I could just have a thing that would help you pursue this specific quest. Because the doctor has told me that in exchange for my services to him, he would grant me a single wish. So I'm pretty sure...
Bullshit.
I'm pretty sure
I'm calling bullshit.
that if he were to be... What do you mean you call bullshit? He told me, and he's a trustworthy guy.
Okay, I take all my bullshit back. You know, that sounds good. I'm getting tired of arguing with you, and my mouth hurts. Yeah, let's just go on the journey. I'll join you.
Cool. So let's just head back here. It's not that far. Just follow me and don't fall behind, because you'll get lost and you might get killed by something living out in the woods.
Oh yeah, lots of people try to kill me. They think I'm some kind of treasured creature or something. So yeah, I'll stay close by, Mr. Agent Man, Nixie.
There you go.
Ooh.
I introduced myself, so I expect you to call me by my name. That's the least you could do.
And the least you could do for me is tell me more about this doctor. Like, where do you come from? What are your origins? Like, why are you serving him and whatnot as a secret agent? Talk to me while I don't look at you and walk down this road, seemingly distancing myself as you stay about the same size.
Okay, I can do that. So, honestly, I don't remember much of my life before the doctor. I have very vague memories of a life outside of the laboratory walls in the training center. Memories of people that I remember vaguely treasuring, a sort of comfortable warmth that might have been love, but I can't tell anymore. And yeah, most of my life I spent training. Most of my life consisted of combat training and stealth training, and learning how to track things.
How vague,
And
how interesting. Sounds very movie.
because I don't know life outside of the laboratory, I have nothing else to do, so I serve the doctor.
I see. Well, Since you entrusted me with some of your origins, I owe you the same. Well, I come from a poor family, and a rich family at the same time, in that I was born into a family that had servants. I am the son of servants, and the servants serve the rich family. The place burned down because I accidentally lit my cigar while there was a gas leak. I survived, everybody died, but at the very least, I know better now than to light anything while there's a gas leak.
Well, that's rough, man. Like,
Yeah. Fortunately, I was only 2, so I don't really remember a lot of it.
then how do you remember enough to tell me? Or
Oh.
was that a second-hand account?
Oh, secondhand account. A little squirrel told me what happened. We have talking
Oh,
squirrels.
that's
where I'm
interesting. Also, you've been smoking since 2?
from. Oh, yes, absolutely. My father...
Your lungs must be charred by this point. Or,
well,
excuse my asking, do you have lungs?
Yes, how else would I speak?
Well, you speak by using your vocal cords. You breathe by using your lungs.
That hamster lied to me. Everything lies to me. You better not be lying to me.
Don't worry, I didn't lie to you. We're just going to see the doctor. It's fine.
You know,
Like
Nixie,
I said, I've known him all my life, and I know him to be trustworthy.
You know, Nixie, you're a good guy. So,
Thank you. I could say the same about you.
So this doctor, does he require me clearly he's interested in me. Does he what's he want to use me for? Does he want to experiment on me? Does he want to help me? Does he want to shred me to paste? It doesn't matter. You know what? I'm willing to give my life for you so you can get your one wish. You know what? Screw it. I don't need the wish. I want him to grant you a wish. No.
But what about your passion project? You were focused on eating rocks.
No, that's my passion hobby. My actual passion project is a secret. Okay, it's not much of a secret. I want to go into space. And I want to go into space without wearing any clothes on, and I want to survive. But,
That's an interesting passion project, but I think the doctor could help you with that. What he needs you for precisely, I haven't been explained. In fact, he didn't even tell me what you were. He just told me to go look for a Jeep, and that was it.
Well, I am a Jeep, and I'm hearing a voice in my head. Someone says they'll be my passion project. I think this person's name is like... Oh.
Interesting.
Okay. Well, whatever you are, you sound interesting. I'll put you on the back burner of the passion project. I'm sorry, occasionally my mind hears voices. Oh no, it's speaking to me again. It says, "You wound me, sir. You wound me." What, for being on the back burner? Listen, voice inside my head. You're just a voice inside my head as far as I know. If you were anything more, I would address you as such. But I'm sorry, I don't know you right now. I don't know you. Shut up, shut up. I'm with Nixie here. He's a good guy. I might have a friend finally. It's a friend to eat rocks with. Shut up. Sorry you had to hear that, Nixie.
I'm just going to pretend that I didn't hear that.
Oh, you're a good guy. A lot of people don't pretend they didn't hear things and they call the cops on me. So,
my phone has only a single number on it, and it is the doctor's. I am not allowed to call 911. I am the police force. Well, I'm not the police, but I've had similar training.
Well, to acquire such objects, I say you are. That did look like an ogre's tooth, the fan ogre specifically. I've had a chat with that guy, full of hot air. That one.
Quite literally, yes.
Yeah. Except, I think he's blind.
I mean, I might have had the results to a bit of an underhanded way to get the tooth from him, but it was legitimate, and he didn't mind.
Nothing says legitimate.
And that's all that matters.
That's true. And nothing says legitimate like underhanded tactics, my friend.
I mean, yeah, you were the one who cheated James Bond in poker, so...
Exactly.
I think we'll get along just fine.
This is the start of a beautiful friendship. What was that? Another sound in my head. I know it is. Okay. Sounds in my head. I'm going to put you on mute so I can only hear the voices in my head. No more sounds, just voices. I like the voices. They keep me company during long, cold nights. Okay. Ooh, there's the laboratory. Right?
Yeah, there it is. Like I said, it wasn't that far off. Just enough for me to establish
I've seen this
my
place.
life to you.
I've seen it. It's very interesting.
You have?
Ooh, yeah. I look at it from the outside. I kind of the green reminds me of like pears or limes. So I kind of want to eat the lab at the same time. Ooh, it's a nice place. Very cozy. Where's the doctor?
It is a very cozy place, yes.
Hey, doctor. Hey, doc. Where are you? Doctor, what's your name?
Doctor, I've acquired the items you require. I have acquired what you require. Yes. We rhyme now.
Yeah, where is he? Where are you? Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can find him over here.
That's a very good question. I would hate for him to have suddenly disappeared.
Oh, he's got
because
some got some weird stuff here, buddy. There's I think I saw like a squid and an iguana.
Oh yeah, I know those. They're pretty chill. I feed them like daily.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna stay right by you right now. This place is kind of freaking me out. So, don't mind me.
You'll get used to it. You'll get used to it.
Okay, but don't mind me. Don't mind me. All right. Doc. Yeah. So I'm just gonna hide right down here. So I'm just gonna because I think I see him coming. He's coming out of the bathroom. I see.
Yeah, he said that he needed to,
Ooh, that
before
was a big dump. Oh, welcome back. Oh, I'm so happy my body is gyrating and flexing and bending. This guy's weird, Nixie. This guy's weird. Tell me he's good. Tell me he's good.
He's good. He's good. Doctor, I've acquired what you asked.
Oh, you've got the tooth. Yes, I see. You've got the castle. Yes.
But I'm curious now.
Curious? I don't
You
remember.
never told me what precisely you needed these items for, but you did tell me that you had the ability to grant one of my wishes. So I must know, what kind of wish-making machine are you working on, and how does it work?
Yeah. How does it work, Doc? You shut up, Jeep. I do not recognize you as something I should talk with. I will answer your question, Nixie. My curious boy. Well, as it so happens, I am trying to create that wish machine using those very items. And when I achieve those items, well, that is once they are in my grasp, I will make the world's greatest wish machine. It will work only once, because you have to try these things in the beginning. It's science after all. It's not, get it in a poof, it's magic. It's just, magic is cool though. But so yes, I am making a wish machine. I need Jeep, I need the tooth, and I need the miniature castle. And I'm gonna put them all in a blender and make a formula that feeds my machine.
See this machine, because I don't think I ever have.
Look, boy. He's getting a little curt with you, Nixie. Are you sure this is a good guy? Shut up, Jeep! I don't remember talking to you! Yeah, I don't remember talking to you either. You can shut your fucking mouth, too. Up yours, Doc. You're really annoying me. What's with that yo-yo in your hand? What, you use it to hit people in the nutsacks? What's that, huh? What's with that finger you're pointing at? Where has that finger been? Where has that finger been?
Jeep.
Okay.
Chill. We don't want to start any hostilities here. There's been enough for one day.
You see, this is why I want to chop up this Jeep. He is a bad boy, I think. I think he's a boy. I don't really know. But hand him over. Come on now. Don't delete that.
Show me the wish machine. I will not sacrifice somebody else's life if I don't know what for. And even then, it kind of has to be worth it.
You keep pressing me on the wish machine. Fine, I will show it to you. I will show it to you. Just give me 1 second. just one. I don't like where this is going. Fuck it. You know what?
Yeah, he's starting to give me a little bit.
You know what? Nixie, I don't like this. This is bullshit. I don't need a wish machine or anything. I think it's all crap. I'm out of here. Yeah!
Oh God, he might actually be dead.
No. He just tripped and fell and knocked unconscious. It's fine. Now.
Okay, that's at least reassuring. But now, I will continue pressing you on the wish machine because I need to see it, and I need to see if it can fulfill my one and only true desire.
And if I don't show it to you, what will you do then?
Then I'll refuse to hand over the items. I have this miniature castle in my hand right here, and I'll fucking destroy it if you don't show me the wish machine.
Okay. All right.
Tell me the true purpose of these items, because I don't believe you when you said that the formula of these randomly acquired things is going to function your machine. More likely, the thing runs on electricity, which you don't get by grinding up life forms.
All right. Okay. I will tell you the truth. I have not been working on a wish machine, as I believe wishes are impossible to make. In truth...
You bastard!
Look, listen, Nixie. Do not get so smug with me, young man. I have something else I want to tell you, too. But first, I will tell you the true intention of my machine, because you are such a curious boy. You deserve a curious answer. This is something I just like to do. I look up items that I fantasize about, that catch my attention. and I throw them in a blender and just pour them on the ground to see what happens. Haha, science at its best. We just see what the fuck happens, take notes, and move on.
You sent me on all this just so you can see what happens when you throw it together.
Oh dear.
You're not the scientist I remember, Doc.
Well, no, because those memories I implanted in you, my boy. You see, you are a clone. You are a clone. Do you know that word? The stream has ended. Cricket noise. Close stream. Something has happened to Nixie, everybody. Ha ha ha! My revelation was too much for him to handle! I have won! But he took the items with him, so we'll just wait till he comes back. They're mine. Oh, great. Now I am hearing GEEP's thoughts. Hold on, folks. We gotta take a brief intermission right at the big twist. Hold on a second. What's happening? I shall return. Just give me a sec. Buddy, we're back. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Speak. Say something, Nixie.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Back from the pits of the voiceless.
Yeah, back from the pits of despair. Back from the pits of technical issues.
All right, we're back. Let's get right back into this. Luna! Hey, welcome.
Hey, Luna.
Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. We're just in the middle of the story. Well, not in the middle. We're actually at the end of the story.
Chad, sorry.
So we'll catch you up real quick, Luna. So let me make the transition. We'll catch you up real quick on the story. Boom. Okay.
Ta-ta-ta-ta! And we're back.
Okay.
Back to the lab again.
So what is currently happening is that. By the way, this is all intentional. We want to keep you all in suspense. That's why we had that technical difficulty.
It's an intentional cliffhanger.
It was all according to plan. Don't say otherwise. We'll feel very embarrassed. Okay, so for those of you just joining us, the story is NIXIE BRASSFLOWER, the moving, very, very stunning military fella to the left. He was sent on a mission by the doctor on the right to retrieve certain items. The doctor said it was to make a wish-making machine. That was a lie. The doctor's really insane. His name is Megxenozens, so that should be a tell. And all he does with these items is he blends them together and just sees what happens and just throws them on the ground. Nothing more. He just does it for shits and giggles. And now that Nixie realizes this, he's going to threaten to destroy everything. But the doctor has one last trick up his sleeve, a great secret reveal that he's about to tell Nixie right now.
Yeah, let's go.
So, Nixie, after that little, whatever you want to call it, while we were gone, I understand you're upset. I understand you're mad. You have every right.
How could I not be mad? You've been lying to me all this time.
It's for
I
your...
thought you were an esteemed scientist.
That's what I put in your memory. You see, Nixie...
You what?
You see, Nixie... You are, how do they say this? A clone.
No.
Yes.
It can't be. I have memories from before I met you. Very vague ones,
yeah,
sure,
yes, all true. You're all true, but that's the point. Clones are supposed to have memories so they don't ask questions. So, and a clone's
My
life...
whole life... it's all been a lie.
You've only been alive for 24... Well, my clones only last for 24 hours, you see? And you have less than an hour left to live. Now, here's the act. Oh, yes.
I don't believe you.
Oh, you better, because... you don't believe that you're a clone? You don't believe me?
No, I don't believe you.
Well...
You can't be telling the truth.
You're going to need proof. Well, proof is in the pudding. There's the original Nixie hanging above, wired to my tubes and everything nasty, and I can absorb him. He's alive and well. I use him to make these. Dun dun dun! Behold.
Incubators everywhere.
Behold, Nixie. My clonester pieces! I have achieved cloning! Of course, you only last for 24 hours, like I said, and you've got less than an hour to live. So, let's get down to business. I have been. Oh, let's just get rid of original Nixie. We don't need him anymore. I'll leave the clones in the background because they serve their purpose of dramatic effect. So, Nixie, you want to live, don't you? I have been working on a formula.
Being alive is pretty okay.
Yes, it is. Ask anyone who's been alive. They'll tell you death is not favorable to them. So, I've been working on a formula that would extend your life 100 billion-fold. Or so the math tells me. And
yes, but your math also tells you to grind up innocent creatures and miniature castles.
No. That's what my mind tells me. My math tells me you will live longer thanks to this. Dun dun dun. You see it right there? The beautiful blue? Now, I have been lying to you a lot, so this could be another trick, but it's not. You need to believe me this time, okay? Believe me this time.
Believe you this time over all the other times you've lied to me. I just found out that all of my life was a lie, and that none of my memories were actually real.
They are real!
I
found them in a dictionary! I looked up the words! I put them together! That makes it real! It's real because I went through real effort to make you real memories!
Okay then.
You ungrateful
But
swine!
there's one fatal flaw you've put into this plan. There's one thing you've overlooked.
Oh yes, and what would that be?
The fact that I have been expressly bred for the purposes of combat and item retrieval. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal your formula, and I'm just going to use it. I am going to live 100 billion times of what I was originally supposed to do, and there is literally nothing you can do to stop me because you're a frail old man.
Hey, put that down! Bzzah!
No. Ah! My limbs. I can't move.
No, you can't. And hey, you threw my bottle on that Jeep fucker!
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I figured he could like force my mouth open and have me ingest the formula anyway so that I wouldn't die.
Yeah, well, he's unconscious. Great, there goes my pee. Oh, yes, that was a lie. That wasn't a formula to give you youth or eternal life. It's just my own piss. I like the smell of my pee. It reminds me how awesome I am. It really smells good. You should give it a whiff.
I don't think I will. What I think I will do, however, is, well, I'm paralyzed.
It's your loss.
I have all these plans that I can't execute on, and now all I have left is an hour of life before everything that I know fades before me and I draw my last breath.
Well, I'll get rid of the clones in the background, because this should just be father and son time.
I don't like that vibe. Stop.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not a creep like that. I don't get sexual pleasure from doing those things. I get sexual pleasure from talking all the time. No. You see, I had
put a whole new layer on your personality that I didn't need.
Well, it doesn't really matter. No one can tell. I have a tiny penis, so no one can see the erection. Anyway, I want you to know that I implanted, the reason you are immobilized as of right now but can speak is because I've had this problem with Nixie clones in the past. Hundreds of them, as a matter of fact. So I developed this little paralysis chip, you might say, on the back of your spine. Therefore, you will be immobile for the remainder of your short life.
And what countless clones, people just like me, die before you.
Yes, for the same stupid reason!
And you made sure that they could talk, just so you could hear their desperate pleas for life as they eventually fade before you. You sick bastard! I can't believe you!
Oh, my boy. You hurt me. I don't let you talk because I like to hear your pains. I am not a sadist. I am loving my voices.
That's very easy to believe after all these things you've told me.
Well, I am a profusive liar too. But at the very least, I let you talk so you can at least express your emotions before your imminent demise. So
okay then, allow me to take this little opportunity. My emotion at the moment is sheer blood-boiling rage. And if it weren't for the fact that all of my muscles have been paralyzed, I would be ripping your head off your shoulders with my bare hands.
That's, unoriginal, I'll tell you that. Because, my boy, at least 3 other clones before you had done the very same thing. Said the very same thing. I'm so sorry. Oh, in case you can't tell, I'm all aflutter. I can't wait to grind up GEEP. I can't wait to grind up everything and pour it on the ground and see what happens. I'm so excited. Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la la la, chicky la, ooh la la.
Can't tell you.
What the hell?
Nothing's going to happen.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god. What's going on? I smell like pee. What the fuck? Who put this blue pee on my blue body? You Mr. GEEP, please don't. I think I stepped on something.
Yeah, you just kind of saved my very unfortunately short life there.
Oh. Hey, Nixie. Oh, I'm glad I didn't step on you.
Hey.
How you doing? I didn't see you there. Here, let me pick you up for a second. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
that would be very much appreciated.
This is just something that happens to me. Ooh, that's the wrong way. I don't want to fit you in my pocket. I wanna hold you right. There we go. How you doing?
Could you hold it upright, please? Yeah, there you go. Being upside down is kind of uncomfortable.
So I hear. Listen, so the thing is, I hate it when I smell like good smelling pee. This stuff smells minty fresh. I hate it, but I can tell it's urine. And oh, the voices. They're back. Feels like a backlog of voices. Someone called Maury in my head says, what has he been eating? Why is it blue? Freud would have a field day. That's someone called Luna. The voices are everywhere. They're jumping around the place. Listerine pee. How does this Luna person know my nightmares? I got a new voice in my head. A new one. It's not just Fig. Fig, have you invited everybody to join my head? I only want a party of 6 voices in my head. I don't want more than 6. Oh, jeez. Anyway.
I wish I could tell who all these voices were, man. They sound like a good time.
They are, until they start leaving you. Then you feel all alone. Okay.
That sounds very depressing.
Ooh. Okay, I put you down there, buddy.
Yeah, good.
Oh, shit! I stepped on the doctor!
Yeah, I'm very glad you did, though. I was kind of getting sick of that guy's shit.
Alright, so. Is there anything I can do? I can change Giant on a moment's notice now because I smell like pee. Is there something you want me to do? I hate this place.
Well, one thing that you could do is...
Oh,
you
Luna, you nasty voice, you. Sorry, I just heard the Luna voice in my head. Yes, you're always waiting. Well, guess what? I'm always waiting too, only I'm not as prepared. So do your worst. Anyway, you were saying, Nixie.
Do you see all those fats over there with the, like, fake silhouettes in them?
Yes, I do. What about them?
Would you happen to know any ways of extending life? Because I haven't... Okay. Allow me to get my thoughts in order. The doc... My whole life is essentially a lie. It turns out that I'm a clone of sorts, and
oh, really?
I have
That's
but an hour left to live before my death of natural causes kicks in, and...
Oh, no!
What I'd want to do is...
No, we're friends! No!
Well, that's kind of where I was going with this. Like, do you happen to know any ways of extending life?
Can't say I do, but I can destroy this lab.
I mean, you sure can, but don't yet, because there's all these shades, these shadows in these incubator vats, and I want you to free them first.
Very
and
well.
There's also this guy that looks identical to me, hanging upside down from the ceiling. I want you to free him as well.
It can be done. Let's wreak a little havoc and save some little lives. It sounds like I'm hitting a desk, but it's a very desky sounding laboratory. Yeah. And
And so the entire laboratory gets torn to shreds in a matter of minutes. Things the doctor has spent his whole life building up, reduced to ashes over the course of a single day.
Destroyed. Destroyed. He 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 he. Giant Jeep happy he 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 he. Ah, there we go. Much better.
Well, at least thank you for getting rid of that fucking place.
Yeah, no problem. And hello, there's the. I'm assuming you are original Nixie. How you doing up there?
My head. What the hell is going on?
Hey.
What that guy that looks exactly like me over there? Oh, hi, other me. Nice meeting you.
This is awkward.
Yeah, sure is. Question: could you get me down here? Like, hanging upside down is kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Let's just do a little Jeep leap. Huh. All right, let me just untie you from up here.
Jump over the moon.
Oh, I can't jump that high. I wish I could, but I can't. Wow, you're really tied up here. This doctor's got these tubes in all your holes. Let's see. There we go.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, consciousness is only just returning, so I'm only just feeling all these things.
Okay. All better?
Okay, so, identical me, what the fuck is your deal? Well, I've apparently been cloned from you for some reason by a guy who is very thankfully dead.
Yes, very thankful. He was creepy.
Yeah, that sounds like an awful time, man. And suddenly, 50,000 other Nixies rise from the ashes of the laboratory.
Oh my goodness, so many bodies. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh my. Nixie, my clone friend. I might have found another friend with the original Nixie. Is there anything you want me to do before I bury these remains or try to help out these unawakened clones?
If you don't know any way of extending our lifespans beyond the 24-hour limit that's been biologically coded into my genes, I don't know.
You know, Nixie?
I guess spending my last hour with friends is more than I could have asked for, so.
I'm so choked up, my tears got in my throat and came out as spit. You know something, Nixie? Your pure heart has revealed... I have to tell you something. I've been holding something back. Not like the doctor. I never lied to you. I just never told you everything about me. Your pure heart has shown me that you are worthy of one wish. For you see, I am also a part-time genie.
That's interesting.
Yes.
But if you're a part-time genie and you can grant my wishes, then we don't need a way of extending life. I can just wish for it.
That's absolutely right. So.
It's genius.
Of course it's genius. Now let me go to a genie-sized Jeep. Okay. What is thine wish?
Okay. I would wish for you to expand my life and the life of all the other clones to a regular human lifespan.
Just the clones who have not been awakened, or even the clones of past?
Also those. Just all of them.
All of them? All right.
Yes, all of them.
Now you're sure? Is that your final answer?
Yes, there's very little ways that I can see a genie loophole being used for this.
All right. Well, I don't do loopholes. I'm not smart enough for that. The voices tell me that. Okay. Bobbity boobity beepity bop. Jeepy the to the jeepy the slop. Eat the meat, sleep the sheep, beep the beep. Don't tell the Jeep, he's just a meep. La 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 la. Whoa! Give it about a few seconds to kick in. I hear my magic is sometimes a little slow. Yeah, crouch down a little bit there. Let's just wait and see what happens. It'll put the stuff part.
It'll kick in eventually. I have faith in you.
Oh, thank you. Not many people do, especially my voices do, but that's when they're in a good mood. And oh, there we go. Oh, there they go. Yeah, hello. There they are. They're coming back. Yes,
Nice,
yes,
nice.
yes. There they are. Oh, yes, we're... Hey, hello, there we go. We got them back. Oh, my God.
There's
Oh.
just there's just a slight issue that we have to solve now, but one.
Yes.
Where are all these people going to live? I might not have thought this through as thoroughly as I thought I did.
They're not going to live under my bridge. The end! Give it up for Nixie, everybody! Good job!
Thank you. Good job on your end as well. I for a second there with the like massive Nixie border, I just kind of had to hold back my laughter.
All right, hold on. Let's get back to the guest stage real quick. That NIXIE BRASSFLOWER, everybody. Give it up for him. He did a great job, honestly. His dramatic acting was so good. So good. Thank you, Nixie.
I like getting a little dramatic from time to time. Yeah, I do that during D&D as well.
Yeah, I was worried that all of a sudden the flood of Nixies would make you laugh, but good job, you didn't break.
I almost did. It wasn't much of a difference. I was just barely I was barely holding on.
There you have it, folks. Nixie's performance, and as you can tell, he's good at voices. Give him a round of applause for
Thank
that. Okay, so there was a lot of twists and turns at the very end of there. We hope you enjoyed that. That was the longest story we have yet. I'm glad I was able to share it with you, Nixie. Very fun to do that.
Even though we got plagued by technical difficulties just before the big reveal, it was worth it.
Yes.
Cliffhangers, everybody. This is how you do narrative design now.
Always leave them wanting more. Okay, well, Nixie, I got to take a little drink right now. I got to take a swig. So.
Yo, that's cool. I'm gonna do the same. My throat is kind of dry from all the screaming that I just did. Yes, the real good shit.
Yeah, I've got some rooibos with me, so that's what I'm drinking.
Hydration is important.
It is, unless you want to die.
Okay, fair. Yeah, not gonna be able to clap back to that.
Certainly not.
But
So
yeah, like
if you're up for it, you
this
want
was
to?
pretty cool.
Oh yes, I had a really good time doing that story. I really.
But you wanted to ask something. If I was up for it, you wanna?
Yes, absolutely. Are you ready to talk about what you want to celebrate and appreciate?
Hell yeah!
All right.
My entire life has been leading up to this moment. I'm going to just adore the fuck out of one of my favorite works of fiction for like 3 hours straight.
Well, don't worry, folks. It's one epic tale. He loves it. He knows like everything about it. So let's get right to it. There it is, folks. Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty.
Easily one of my favorite video games. Like I tend not to give favorites out to things. Like usually I'm like I like this, but I'm not gonna like put a number one on it. But this is one of the rare instances in which I do. I love this game so much.
Well, explain to us. Start like from the beginning. How like when you first experienced it. Walk us through how you became so in love with the game.
Very interesting. That's a very interesting experience, actually. So, me and my dad, we were walking through this market in our country somewhere, like in this small town. They had this market, and there were a lot of stands that sold food, and some that sold fabric. And there was one that sold secondhand video games for an outdated console known as the original Xbox. And so we were just looking through these games, and he picked out Metal Gear Solid 2, and he said, dude, like, I've played the original Metal Gear on the MSX all the time. And I was like, I have never heard of this before. So essentially we got home that day.
Wait,
and he
so
booted
this
up
was
the game, and I just...
Oh, I'm sorry, this was your first Metal Gear game?
Yeah, 2 was my first.
No way. Okay, continue, proceed.
And so I watched him play the tanker section, and my dad looked a little like Solid Snake, especially after he started growing the beard. Like there were kind of a lot of similarities between them, and the fact that they both smoked. So I was like, he reminds me a lot of my dad, and
that's cool.
I had very fond memories of watching him play the tanker section, and I remember very vividly that it took us a while the first time to get to Metal Gear, and I remember us arguing about what was it going to be, because neither of us had any idea what kind of thing we had waiting for us at the end of the tanker. So at first, my dad was like, "It's a computer," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And then he was like, it's a bomb. And I was like, okay, cool. And then this fucking huge mechanical abomination shows up, and that turns out to be Metal Gear, and like 10-year-old me is just there like,
Metal Gear
I
Ray, right?
genuinely couldn't
Ray.
take
This was
it.
Ray,
that
wasn't it?
stuff was amazing.
Metal Gear Ray, right?
So, yeah, Metal Gear Ray. It's,
okay.
I used to have a preference for Rex because I do like bulky mechanical design, but I've really come around to loving Ray's design so much.
Yeah, that's sort
Speaking of Ray's design, just a little tangent. I did this post on DeviantArt the other day, and yes, I know DeviantArt has kind of a cringe reputation, but I don't have any other place to post my drawings. Don't at me.
You see, folks, he makes do with what he's got.
Yeah, I roll with what I got. So essentially, I decided, because I wanted to do some fan art for the game when I finished streaming it. So I wanted to do a portrait for Raiden initially, and I suck at portraits, so I tried that and it didn't really work. So then my inner degenerate was like, hey, what if we took Metal Gear Ray and we turned it into an anime girl? And so I did.
Oh no!
13 hours later, 13 hours later, I had a somewhat acceptable result, I guess.
Is that one of your more prouder masterpieces?
I guess the proudest thing that I've done is my model, specifically because I was able to pick up Live 2D in like a week. Never having used it before, so even though art-wise it's by far not the best thing that I've done, I'm really glad with how it turned out and that it just functions at all.
So,
but yeah. So
back to Metal Gear.
Yeah. So I saw, I was the kind of kid that would always read the manual for a game, you know?
Oh,
and
okay.
when Dad wasn't playing it, I just, took the manual out of the box and I started reading stuff. And one of the characters' portraits that really intrigued me for some reason was Fat Man's, and I really wanted to see what his deal was. But I never saw my dad play much plant section, because he would always play after I'd go to bed.
Oh, so wait, did he fight Fat Man without you?
Times that were very inconvenient for me, so I never saw... I don't remember seeing Raiden, actually.
Oh.
I don't remember... there's only one thing of the plant section that I do remember, and that is that Pliskin suddenly showed up, and I was like, dude, that's Solid Snake. And but I was like, no, like the name is different. And I was like, no, man, he totally has the same voice actor and the same face. It's Solid Snake, man.
Was it like Iroquois Pliskin or something like that, his name?
Yeah, Iroquois Pliskin. You nailed the pronunciation. That's exactly it.
Awesome. Hey, I'm a Metal Gear fan myself,
and
so go on.
I remember that, but I don't remember Raiden very well. But then a couple years later, I was playing. I never played the game myself for a long time, and I was playing Smash Brothers at some point, and I was reading like the trophy info for fucking Metal Gear Rex or something.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Hey, if you're so interested in Metal Gear lore, why not just play the damn game?" And I did.
So that was when you first played it, finally.
Yeah, I can't have been older than 13 when I did it, when I played the first time. It was kind of a trip, because I remember my dad telling me that he got stuck at this part where he had to rescue the president.
Oh yes.
And that's kind of when the game starts to unravel, so he missed some of the most mindfucky shit I've ever experienced in any video game at all. Just ever.
Wow.
Like, people gave Doki Doki Literature Club a lot of credit for that. People gave Psycho Mantis a lot of credit for that. And both of those are totally justified. But nothing will ever beat the experience of, Raiden, turn the game console off right now. Funny, when I got to that the first time, because I fucked around a lot in that game. Like, when I got to that the first time, I'd been playing for, I think, at least 3 hours straight. Maximum 5. And when I got to that, I was like, is this something that the game does when I've legitimately been playing too long? And I actually deadass turned off the console.
Whoa, it got you.
Yeah, it got me. And then there's major spoilers, by the way.
Yes, careful, folks. There's going to be spoilers abound here. So he's talking about a great game.
What I've been discussing so far is out of context, but now I'm going to be going a little deeper into specific events that happen at the ending. So if you want to play the game, which I highly recommend you do, then
I second that.
Yeah, tune back in later, because I am going to destroy the entire experience for you.
Yeah, it's really something to behold with going in blind.
Yeah, you really have to go in blind to get the maximum effect. But
anyway, proceed.
So yeah, later when the Colonel starts going insane, and that it was before the reveal that he's an AI, but there's this one call that if you finish it, then the place where the Soliton radar usually would be is just live action footage of this girl in like a hammock or something. And I was convinced that they were going to pull the cheap jump scare card on me. So every time that the Colonel called, I was like, oh no, like goddamn! I swear the next call is just going to replace my Soliton radar with a jump scare thing or something. I was so on edge. So I didn't know how to proceed through that hall where Snake eventually saves you. And then when I read that I had to take all the Colonel's calls, I was like, I really don't want to.
It's been a while. That was the part where he shows up and fights Fortune, right? For the second.
Oh yeah, he has such a good line there. Like I quoted it during my Resident Evil stream, but I just love how Fortune's been set up as like this immortal character essentially that's very melancholy about the fact that she thinks Snake killed her dad, and this absolute legend just picks up his M16 and goes, "You want eternal rest? I've got it right here." Like that shit.
Nice.
That shit has stayed with me.
Cheers, cheers. That was Nixie, by the way, folks. That wasn't audio clips. That was his voice. He did that.
I've been working on my Snake impression for a little bit because since Fallout New since I've been streaming Killer 7 actually, I always just liked to randomly go, "Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but I'm dummy thick. And the top of my ass cheeks, he's alerting the guards."
Those are some nice cheeks.
I love that meme so much, but so. I always give this game specifically a lot of credits, and I've always been very impressed with the ending, but since I watched another movie recently that tried to do, or at least it felt like it tried to do something similar, but it failed, that's when I realized specifically why I think this game is so good. It's because the movie that I was mentioning has this 15-minute sequence where you just have no idea what the fuck is going on, and it's all supposed to be deeply metaphorical, but it doesn't have a surface level. And Metal Gear Solid 2 has a surface level ending, but you can also read deeper into it and go, holy shit, Kojima just predicted the future here.
It's very true, very true. But I mean, he's a great storyteller, so.
Yeah. Another thing that really, I mean, this is a more personal thing. Like, I did mention earlier that Solid Snake always reminded me of my dad.
Yes.
So, what really helped me get attached to Raiden specifically, and what also helps with me. Like, a lot of people complained about him replacing Snake for 2.
Yep.
But I think his inclusion makes the game better. And that's from a narrative standpoint, but also from a personal standpoint. Because when I played the game the first time, and I got to Raiden, and I was like, wait a second. They called him Snake, but his voice is different.
Yeah.
And then he took off that mask, and I was like, holy shit. He's also, like, this kid-looking guy with long hair. And then Snake showed up to be kind of a mentor figure, and that really helped establish a sort of connection between Raiden and me.
Oh, yeah, that's nice when real life kind of correlates with the fiction. It adds a nuance that a lot of people appreciate.
That's why I also appreciate the ending from a character perspective, because they spend the entire game developing Raiden, like giving him his own quirks, his own personality, his own story, and then at the ending they just rip him to shreds. Not literally, but like on the personal level.
Absolutely.
Like where the AI is just like, you think you've been doing all these things on your own, but everything that you have, all your ideals are just cobbled together from things you've heard from other people. You are not a real person, and you lack the qualifications to exercise free will. And that stuck with me. That stuck with me really hard because, like I said, not only had I been connected to Raiden for a while, but like I'd been playing the game for a long time up to that point. So
to hear that's kind of like a punch in the gut.
Yeah, that shit hit hard. And then that last Kodak call it happens when you call the Colonel during the Solidus boss fight, where they explain why the name Raiden, why they went for that name. It's because it's the official name for a fighter jet in World War II that the Japanese used. And the Americans called it Jack, which is his real name. And I was just there like, oh,
I don't think I got that Kodak.
Blown several times over.
Wow.
But now there's a lot of people I think have taken inspiration from both, I think, this game's ending and Psycho Mantis and, like, for example, indie development.
Yes.
So I do really appreciate those moments. Like for example, Doki Literature Club is another game that I really love, and they do something similar. But
Right.
like it never really had the same impact. Like it only worked. It only worked for me once because now I can kind of pick up signs of, oh, this is all going to go downhill, and I kind of get what direction they're going in now.
It kind of happens when you start from the top down, and not making fun of anything that tells the story less, like Nixie said, but Metal Gear Solid 2's way of handling what he just described is so intricate that you start at a top level, then anything you see anything less, you can kind of pick up the signs along the way. So
Exactly. And another thing that I think is really good is they reference the first game a lot, but you don't need it to enjoy the game.
absolutely not. Yes, in
I
fact,
definitely didn't, because up to this day I watched the first game's cutscenes of both the original and the Twin Snakes. I watched them on YouTube, but it's only since I really got into streaming and I decided I must stream Metal Gear Solid 2 once, because I really need to share my love with this game, for this game, with like the 2 viewers that I have that show up, because
that's two more than nothing.
that's exactly. How many people I can introduce to this game, the more the better.
Yes.
So
I'm sorry. Yes, go on.
so that's when I figured out that the same platform that offers 2 also offers 1. So I might play that one a little later.
Ooh, you mean the original?
Yeah, the absolute original Metal Gear Solid then.
Yes, Metal Gear Solid, not the
Also,
Metal
a
Gears.
fun thing, like I do have the original MSX games because they came with the Legacy Collection,
Yes.
which contained an HD remake of 2. It had the remake.
It had
It's
3. I
remastered.
believe. It had
It's a port.
Snake Eater, I believe, as well.
Snake Eater and Peace Walker. And Peace Walker was the main reason
Right.
why I wanted to have it, because a friend of mine also played that one, and I was just really intrigued by its structure and the weird, like especially Metal Gear Zeke was like one of the main draws to that game for me specifically.
Yes,
But
Zeke.
getting back to 2, because I'm getting off topic here. Like I
Yes.
said, I can go on about Metal Gear for days.
There's no reason why you wouldn't be able to There's even days worth of content, even if you were just to recite the whole thing.
Yeah. Especially if you wanted to make it cohesive, because you can, like, Metal Gear Solid 2 can be summed up as The Patriots, and the entry where you fight a former U.S. president with a katana on the top of Federal Hall,
That is a good way
which
to
is
put
the canonical ending, by the way, and I think it's amazing.
it.
But another thing that I really like about Snake specifically in that game is that he kind of he's the only thing anchoring you to your sanity during the final act of the game, I think.
Yeah, the way Kojima
Because
presented
nothing
it, yeah.
anybody says is trustworthy. Like
That's
at
true.
first they prove that like your whole life is a lie because you've actually been adopted by Solidus and you haven't had any VR training. Those are just implanted memories and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the reveal that Solidus has been lied to by Ocelot because S3 actually doesn't stand for Solid Snake Simulation, but Selection for Societal Sanity. That's
Yes.
a fucking tongue twister if I've ever seen one. But like everything just unravels in a really nice way. But Snake is there to kind of keep you optimistic, because the tone of that AI conversation, that 15 minutes mind fuck at the end of the game just before the Solidus fight. If it were to end just on that, then it would be a very depressing game. But I think Snake having this message of hope just at the end, I think that I think that seals the deal for me, and that's why I can actually say that I think the game has a really good ending.
Well, absolutely.
Not only because it unravels, but also because it carries a legitimate message of hope that, hey, like, life isn't just about spreading your ideas and spreading your genes. Like, you can do other things.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the prime things, because like I said, I played this game relatively early. That's one of the things that I actually live my life by. Because
wow, nice thing to live
there's
by.
a lot of people who say things like, oh yeah, we've been like biologically engineered to just reproduce. And I'm like, dude, like human society is so much more advanced than that. So much more I know there's so much more going on there than just yes, must eat, must reproduce, that sort of stuff, you know?
Yeah, that's basic.
So, yeah, exactly. So I always think that it's functioning on caveman logic, and if you function on caveman logic, you ignore so many beautiful things in life, and that's what I think is one of the good things about Metal Gear Solid 2's ending. Like,
no, I agree. Whenever something crazy, like you said, a total mindfuck comes in, sometimes creators have a tendency to get into that depressed state without offering any solutions afterwards. Like they
Yeah,
want you to.
yeah, that's true.
So
Not gonna lie, I am one of those authors.
yes, but you may be that, but you can appreciate it when somebody does offer, like you said, a legitimate look at hope. And
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Snake. So yeah, it doesn't matter if that's not something that you can often create, but you can at least appreciate it, and you clearly do. So
Yeah, yeah. Like
and
it's
go
not
on.
just the game's ending, which is what I usually give it the most credit for because it's genuinely amazing, but like all the things they do in the middle as well. I think for example, I mentioned this in private conversations, excuse me. Um
No
but I
problem.
think Fat Man, for example, as like a sort of minor villain, he's kind of like if Metal Gear Solid 2 were an anime, he'd just be an arc.
Yeah, the Fat
He
Man
wouldn't be the
arc.
main plot. Like when you start off the tanker section, the plant section, I always get the names mixed up. I know the
Hmm.
locations like the back of my hand, but um, like when you start the plants chapter, then you just start with the Fat Man arc essentially. And I think why he's so good is that they set him up throughout the course of the game essentially to be this mad genius. Well, not necessarily mad. He's just a genius.
He is.
He's literally a kid that built an atomic bomb at age 10. He he outsmarted Peter Stillman, literally lore-wise, the best bomb disposal
and
guy
also
there is,
and also
and he
Fat Man's
outsmarted
mentor.
him.
He's also his mentor. So
Exactly. Also, Fat Man's mentor. So everything, in theory, everything that he should know should be taught to him by Stillman. But he outsmarted him because he's just such a mad lad. And then you meet him for the first time because there's been all this build-up, and you never really get to see his face much.
hmm
You got to see like these vague illustrations, and in half of them, his face is like covered up by the blast suit thingy.
yeah, and then when
So
you
then
finally
when you
get
finally do meet him, it was such a subversion of expectations the first time, man. Especially, I expected him to have like this very deep voice, and then when he comes out with fucking "Life is short,"
yes,
I
that's
was really
Fat
caught
Man.
off guard by him. Yeah, I when I streamed it, I kind of mimicked most of that speech from memory, and some things that I wasn't exactly sure on, I just used the subtitles for.
Exactly, and since you yourself are into art, you can always go, "How dare you! I am an artist!"
I actually did, and I clipped that. I did. I also did the line Raiden says because I thought it would be funny. Just like you're nothing but a common criminal, and that's the only way people will ever remember you. How dare you? I'm an artist. I
Oh,
live for that shit.
again, back on your point of Solid Snake, why he's such a grounding character. I think that's in the way Kojima developed the character. That he's not easily swayed by the logic of others or the Patriots. He just stands his
Exactly.
ground, and he is stern, and he believes in his beliefs, and that in and of
He is his own man essentially, and I think that is really nice that they carried that over to Raiden in Metal Gear Rising specifically because that is something that he actually says.
right.
Metal Gear
So,
Rising is another game that I really love and that I could go on for hours about. Like specifically in Metal Gear Solid 2, another thing that I think people don't acknowledge when they complain about Raiden replacing Snake is like you could talk shit about his character all you want, and I'll disagree, but I'll get it. You know, I understand what you're coming from. But if you were playing specifically the plant section as Snake, he's not phased by any of this. He's done this before, and he knows what he's doing. So, well, yeah, it would be fun to have like the full arsenal of weapons that Snake takes with him on like his plant-free missions and shit. I think that having a character that learns as you learn and that's actually phased by those discoveries is the superior decision when you're going for a narrative like this that hinges mostly on mystery and stuff.
true, and the and what complements is the fact that that storytelling really complements a gameplay aspect.
Yeah. Like the game genuinely for as much as it's like pretty simple, it does manage to throw you for a loop multiple times.
Yes,
Like the first instance of that happening, if I'm not mistaken, is just it's somewhere early in the plant section, I believe. Oh yeah, it's Fortune's boss battle. That's such a big middle finger to conventional boss design because you can't do anything. It's literally just current objective survive. What I think makes it slightly hilarious though is the fact that like your health bar takes up like a decent amount of the screen and Fortune has like you could slap her and her health bar would go all the way down. That's how little health she has. But because all of your ammunition veers off her and you can't physically get close to her,
Yes.
you can't do anything.
That is the point, probably. It's like, I can kill her with one shot, and I can't kill her with one shot. Damn it! Kind of thing.
Exactly. Another thing that I think is funny, I'm going to go into a bunch of Easter eggs that I discovered.
Yes, please, share the Easter eggs.
Some of them I did discover, and some I just read on the wiki and memorized. So, there's this one, when you go into Shell 2 to the core, and you need to go rescue Emma, there's this one bit where you open up a door, and then Stillman's lifeless body drifts out.
Yeah.
That scared the shit out of me the first time I played it, by the way. But what I didn't know for the longest time is that if you were to look at his model that's just drifting there, and you were to call Snake, then Raiden will just go, "Snake, Stillman's here," and Snake's just like, "Uh-huh, he was waiting for me, uh-huh," and then it just ends. That's the entire conversation.
I didn't know that.
Another thing that you could do is if you were to when Snake goes into Shell 2 and you immediately try to follow him, just the first bridge, usually you would fuck around in strut C, but if you were to immediately follow where he's going to strut D, then you can spot him having knocked out a guard or two and running in a cardboard box. And if you shoot that cardboard box, he'll confront you about it later.
Oh, really? So he doesn't do it right there? He confronted you later?
Yeah, via codec. If I'm not mistaken, it's something... It's something about that you shouldn't shoot cardboard boxes. I can't remember how that call goes exactly, but...
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, did you also know that there's 2 ways to make Rose refuse to save the game for you?
No, I didn't know that. I don't know much of the Easter eggs. I just remember playing through the story and loving it, so...
Okay, so what you can do is... There's 2 ways you can achieve this, and I showed one of them on stream. The first is by being accurate and just shooting a lot of the seagulls in the air, and eventually the colonel will call you like... Raiden, do you actually enjoy abusing helpless animals? And then the next time you call into Rose when you want to save the game, then the only 2 options you can choose from are don't save and I won't make you save. And you have to apologize to her first. It's fucking hilarious. And the other thing that you can do is if you pick up one of the books, they're essentially porn magazines, but they're called book in game, probably to keep the 16 and up thing instead of 18 and up.
Yeah.
But if you take one of those things, go into one of the bathrooms and strut C, and were then to call the colonel, then he would also flip out at you, and Rose will also refuse to save your game.
Well, so abusing pigeons and going in for some personal time with magazines.
Exactly. And another thing you can do during codec calls is if you hit the triggers, you can... depending on which trigger you hit, you can give a positive or negative response. So, when another character is talking and you hit the trigger, you can say something like, "That's exactly it," or "No way!" You know? So, when I was streaming it, there was this one moment where, like I said, I was showcasing this Easter egg where Rose refuses to make you save. And in this call, there's this one moment where she says, "So what exactly are you going to do? Drool over pictures of voluptuous girls?" And when I hit the affirmative button, Raiden responded with, "That's exactly it." And I just fucking died.
Oh, God! Oh, God! Just hearing it makes me laugh.
Yeah, I think I clipped that. You should, I could send you that one time. It's fucking hilarious.
There's a man who's confident in his self-beatings.
Yeah, and then there's also, like, you can do that during any moments. When any other character is talking, you can just hit the triggers and give any kind of response. So, for example, when the colonel's all like, "Raiden, you have to rescue the president," you can just be like, "Hell no," or "Why don't you do it?"
My goodness.
The responses are random, but I had it once that the colonel told me to do something, and I just responded with, "Why don't you do it?"
Wow.
Raiden, you can do the fighting. I'll do the fighting. You can just go home. I always found that funny because I immediately got this mental image of the colonel actually just straight up dropping into Arsenal gear and just capping people.
Now that would be a mindfuck.
Yeah.
And
they actually did that with Metal Gear Solid 3, by the way. They had these in one of the specific versions, and it's not the one that I have, sadly. I think it's like... I don't know, it was for a console that I didn't have. But essentially they had these animations that they did with all the in-game models, and one of them was simply called Metal Gear Sigint, and they had a lot of pivotal moments during the Metal Gear Solid 3 campaign, and instead of using Snake for them, they used Sigint, the support character,
Yeah. Oh,
who would
Sigint.
eventually become
Yes,
Donald Anderson.
Sigint. Yes, Sigint, Donald Anderson, member of the Patriots. Sorry for the spoilers, folks. Yep.
So, yeah, precisely. So he would then be there, and Solid Snake would just be jealously standing in the corner there, like, damn it, he's stealing my moment again.
Oh, I did not know that either. That's cool. That's funny.
You can find those on YouTube. I absolutely recommend you do it because it's hilarious. It's just the perfect example of the game's developers having fun with the characters without affecting the narrative too much.
Yeah.
Because it's literally just side content.
That's respect for you. That's respect. It's good to respect your own work, but to have fun at the same time. Not to take it too seriously, right? But
yeah, precisely.
Exactly.
That's why they had Major Ivan Raidenovich Rykov in 3, who was basically just Raiden but Russian.
Yes. What was I going to say? No, I'm glad.
You could also.
Oh, go on.
In 2, that's an Easter egg that I did want to mention just now. I mean, I'm kind of cutting the subject back to 2 again.
Yeah, go right back into it.
This is one that I don't remember seeing online anywhere, but it could be that that somebody uploaded it before me. I hadn't checked, but essentially, during the Fat Man boss battle, essentially how it works, if you're not familiar, is he just goes around this helipad on roller skates, and he places packets of C4 against random surfaces. And you have to use your coolant spray to disable the bombs temporarily. And in the meantime, Fat Man will just be fucking around somewhere.
Yep.
Like driving in circles, that sort of thing. Because he's on roller skates, it's really dumb. But one thing I figured out you could do a couple years back is there's this timer that counts down until, the bombs explode. But one thing I don't think they intentionally did, it kind of reads as more of a glitch to me, but I don't know, is if you were to freeze all of the bombs except for one, and you still have like 20 seconds left, and you shoot Fat Man, like you drain either his health or his stamina bar before this bomb explodes, and you shoot him in his head again, he'll just be launched backwards a meter or two. And
I saw the highlight.
I
watched your video when you did that. I saw it. I was like, whoa! And he never dies. He can keep doing that.
He just keeps going, and he doesn't go. He doesn't fall off the walls either. He just keeps going. It's hilarious.
After Nixie told me about that, I had to check it out. I was like, oh, this must be what he's talking about right here. I'm like, whoa, look at that. Look at him flip. Look at him go. Now, personally, I think the roller skates are kind of cool, though. I like the roller skates. I thought it was a cool character
I do think
quirk.
it's really fun, though. It's not only like a character quirk, but it really, without them, the boss fight wouldn't be the same.
It's true.
Because then he'd just be walking at the same speed of you, or maybe like slightly faster, slightly slower. I don't know. But that would kind of remove his mobility advantage, which makes him like a harder target, especially when you're trying to defuse bombs. I mean, sometimes he'll just go stand next to you and try and fucking cap you in the head with his Glock. But
yeah, exactly. So there you have it, folks. That little Easter egg. I don't know if anyone else had done it. If you know anybody, share with Nixie. Otherwise, he's the first to discover. Fat Man don't die, and you can keep on flipping his butt nonstop.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So yeah, I think. Like I said, I could go on for this for a long time, but I think I got most of the main points now.
All right, well.
Oh wait, no. I remembered a few. I remembered a few dumb Easter eggs in the tanker section, because there's a bunch there too.
All right, bring in a few of them, and then we can wrap up this corner with something really nice. So.
Because I figured we've already been going for a while, so. One of the ones that I know that other people have uploaded it before me. Like, I definitely knew that, but I did discover it on my own. Essentially, in the tanker section, in the main hangar hall, not the main hangar, in the engine room, like the big engine room.
Yeah.
There's this eventually there's this sort of railing that you can stand next to. I don't know how exactly I can describe the exact place, but it's somewhere in the middle, I guess. It's somewhere in the middle, and if you were to face one of the walls in the distance, you can see this weird, I guess, beige-ish colored square, and if you shoot it, it explodes. And I was always like, what is that? But apparently, I can't remember what game mode this was. I think it was Snake Tales. But eventually, there is an option to go into the tanker with a PSG-1. And if you were to zoom in on that weird square, it's literally a poster of someone's face. And if you shoot it, it explodes and alerts all the guards.
Wow, that poster's a no-no.
Exactly. It's a very big no-no. And, and a few others that I really, really enjoy is... if you go into the second room of the hangars where the commandant is giving a speech,
Yes.
there's two of these projectors there instead of one. You can walk up to these and hit Y, or at least the action button. You can hit the action button, and you can manually switch what monitor he'll go to. But if you do that too much, you'll be locked into a cutscene sequence where you're essentially just switching him all over the place, and then eventually you're replacing one of the monitors with... again, random live action footage of... I guess it was just a woman smiling.
Wait.
And then you
I
replace the
remember
other
that one. I remember that Easter egg. I think my brother and I accidentally did that one when we first were like, what the heck? I remember
And then
that.
there's also... there's this one Marine in the first room who will, if I'm not mistaken, he will always stand there in his underwear. You just have to kind of spot him. And if you make a picture of him and send it to Otacon, then he'll laugh his ass off.
I know that one too. Yes, I think when we spotted that, we were like, what the heck?
Yeah. There's also a certain... I don't know what the exact condition for it is. Because there's a lot of weird Easter eggs that trigger if you match a certain set of... if you reach a certain set of criteria. And if you... I think it has something to do with how fast you are, but I'm not sure. Anyway, there is one way, and I've achieved it before, but I don't know how I did it, is... where all of the Marines will be replaced with the model of the underwear dude.
Whoa.
So the entire room will just be full of essentially that guy. And if you make a picture of that, you'll get the same reaction from Otacon.
I'd expect no less from
And,
Otacon. And
like
no...
in the plant, this is the last Easter egg that I want to showcase.
Okay.
This is also a pretty well known one, but essentially if you go into Strut, I think it was Strut G or something, or Strut J, something like that. I think it's J. But essentially, it's one of those struts that you just kind of pass by the outside of.
Oh no, this is not the peeing guy, is it?
It is that one. It is that one.
Yes, we got that by accident the first time, and when we played it again, we're like, "Hey, where is he?" we thought.
I know what the trigger for him is.
What is it? We thought it was mandatory, but it was. We just ran into.
It's not mandatory. It's not mandatory. The trigger for him is that you go through that area without being alerted. Because if the guards are alerted in that section, then the alarms will go off and that guy will go downstairs.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we're bringing up is this guy takes a great big solid stream of piss, and it lasts forever. And you can be right under the stream trying to stealth your way, and it just pours down like a thin waterfall. It's hilarious.
If you call the colonel, then he'll say they call these sorts of operations wet works for a reason.
Oh, he had to pun it. He had to pun it.
Yeah, and then Rose will respond with, "Hey, like, it's perfectly fine as long as you take a shower the second you get back." And I achieved that Easter egg during my stream of the game.
Oh,
and
nice.
then during the ending, when you meet Rose again, I'm like, "Hey, Rose, I still didn't take that shower that you wanted me to. Still didn't take that shower you wanted me to have."
Dun dun dun, cliffhanger. That's the real reason they split.
Another one was like the dog tags at the end of the game. They it's a well-known fact that they have your name on them.
Yeah.
But I just had to joke around with that. So when he throws these things away, like, never heard the name before, it was like, Raiden, you're hurting my feelings, man.
I saw that part of the highlights. You work so hard, and he's so mean to you. You played as him. You related to him, and now you're just trash.
Yeah. No, but I do like that. Like I said, it's wait, I didn't highlight that part. It's a way of him rejecting the control of both the player and the Patriots.
Yes, absolutely. So
it's all a deep metaphor. Sorry.
No, it's still fine. So anyway, thank you, Metal Gear Solid 2. You gave Nixie a great childhood game with his father, and surprisingly nice relations in real life, which is excellent. That was you gotta always appreciate. He really loved your game. Turned the term mindfuck really up to 11, as they say. And Metal Gear Solid 2, everyone, Sons of Liberty. Fantastic game. You heard it from Nixie. He's not over-exaggerating. It really is just that cool. So,
yeah. And like I said, with all these Easter eggs that you're not going to be able to trigger on your first run, it has so much replay value.
It's
Like, it's not
yes.
just because it has a good story, you can just keep going forever.
So there you have it, folks. Give it a shot. I recommend it too. I'm not as what's the word? I don't know it as well as Nixie, but I'm pretty sure
You're not as obsessed as me. That's the good term.
obsessed. I don't know if it's something that brings you joy and it keeps a healthy mindset. Obsession is unhealthy. I'd say you're just a big fan.
I'm a very big fan. I was just kind of joking around there.
Oh, you got me. So let's move on back to the guest stage. Thank you for sharing this with us. Your love of Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, Sons of Liberty. And we're back.
Ta-da! I just had to do during the stream. I just had to do the like name drop that Solidus does as well. Like I shouted that shit at the top of my lungs. But yeah, like.
Yeah,
it's been a very good stream. I've had fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm same here. I just love hearing what people love about something or just their experiences. I really do enjoy it. I'm sorry I don't engage enough in chat. I just listen. I'm very good at listening, and I just like to hear what they have to say. Is all. So give them the time and the spotlight to talk and everything. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Oh, thank you, Maury. I'm glad you had a good time too. So,
but don't leave yet, Maury. There's a single thing that we still have to show you.
Yes, there is still a little bit more. For one, I'm going to show you all the trailer or the commercial for my next guest. At the end of the always do this at the end of the show, because well, the show is about the current guest, naturally. But I want to get you hyped for the next one. That's one of the that was one of the things that we were going to wrap up with. Was there something else you were hinting towards, Nixie? I don't know. I think
no, I was actually hinting towards the trailer.
Okay, I thought so. Okay, I was worried for a second. I was like, what? Did Nixie come up with something that I didn't hear about? Oh no.
No. I was totally hinting towards the trailer because I was like, I do need to I need to give all the VTubers that I can some more support, you know?
Yes, no, that's very nice. Yeah, we got to help each other out. We're just starting out, you know? And even then, it's just nice to help out VTubers we like. Just good to help out folk you care about and you appreciate. So, just give me 1 second. The video is still currently unlisted. I gotta list it, so give me.
Insert elevator music here. Immediately looks up royalty-free elevator music tunes so that we won't get fucking banned. No. But yeah, I figured I'm just going to, while listings are going on, I'm just going to talk to chat for a while. What is that thing? Is that a is that a three-way emote? Is that an emote that's been divided into three? It's not a squid. Squids have 8 tentacles. It's a very sad squid. It's been cut into 3 pieces. kind of trying to keep my voice down because somebody just asked me to.
So yeah, let's just go into full ASMR mode here.
Oh, he's just that shy. He'll be able to develop the courage to show the rest of his tentacles eventually. It may take years. Oh God.
I was spazzing a bit. I'm back.
Yeah, you were kind of spazzing there.
Were you commenting about my lack of return?
I was talking to chat for a second.
I
didn't want it to just be awkward silence.
Thank you.
I did say while listings are going on, I'm just gonna talk.
That's a good thing. Yes, keep them entertained. Thank you. I didn't even have to ask you to do that. You just took charge.
We were discussing tentacles, indeed. That is true. Funny how quickly the subject can change.
Yes, it is funny and disturbing.
It's only disturbing if the subject becomes disturbing.
True enough. True enough. I'll second that. I will second that. Let's see. Here we go. I just have to fix.
Just gotta do some neck cracks.
Yeah, some neck cracks and some neck cropping. Make sure the folks abroad don't see certain information. Okay. I think we're all set. Alright, folks, without further ado, here's the trailer for my next upcoming guest. It's the YouTube video, so.
Let's watch it.
Let's watch indeed. Space. The frontier said to be the final. Space. Where one dies so easily. Especially when naked. Space. I'm done about space. Let's move on. Hello, everybody! Jeep here of Jeep Variety Show. How y'all doing? Well, I hope. Let's get to it. Today's GSA, Jeep Special Announcement, is about April 2nd, the first Friday of April. And you know what Fridays are? Guest Day! So, we're going to have a different start time, that is. 8 p.m. PST. It's going to be a late show, so we'll be able to enjoy the stars of outer space. In case you can't tell, space is the theme. Why? Well, because it's about my next guest. Kind of obvious, I know. Still want to say it and build up to it. So, she is an alien who has crash-landed onto Earth and is trying to repair her ship. In the meantime, she hopes to have fun by entertaining you folks with all the VTuber goodness that makes VTuber goodness VTuber goodness. So, without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to my next upcoming guest, Mura Luna! There she is, folks! Mura Luna! Haha! I know what you're thinking. That's an alien? Yes. She may look human, but that could be a disguise. Or that's what her species looks like. We don't know. No one knows. But we want to know. But will we know? Who knows? But that's her, yes. And look, she's drawing. She can do art. Yep, she can draw. And she can fly through outer space and survive. Very powerful stuff. There she is. Yes, Mura Luna. 8 p.m., April the 2nd. I'm excited about this one. You folks should check her out. She's awesome. Very lovely person. Very kind, chill, smart, and witty. Great VTuber combination. Great mix right there. It's no surprise that she's where she's at right now. And still so new to the VTuber world. At least in my opinion. You know, not even a year in. So, yeah. Mura Luna, everybody. April the 2nd, 8 p.m. PST. And as I always say now, remember all folks to stay cool, stay sharp, stay out of outer space unless you're the almighty Luna, and Jeep out. There you have it, folks. The next guest, Mura Luna. Hope you'll tune in for that one.
Yo. Yeah, definitely. Well, at least I'll try. I hope because like you said, it's very late, so I don't know if this is like midnight level late or early morning level late.
Hey, don't worry about it, Nixie. If you just catch the vibe, that's more than appreciated. Do whatever you gotta do, you know?
Oh, yeah,
You're
I'll
a
just
VTuber as well.
watch the playback if I miss it, because that does seem like a good time.
Oh,
I also like how she has a similar thing in her model like me, where you do the arm thing, like.
Oh yes, and the hands and the arms move along with the bob with the head.
Yeah.
Kind of yes, that's.
I think that's pretty funny.
Yep. Oh, she's funny. She's great. So, folks, I believe that is it. So check out again, NIXIE BRASSFLOWER. You see what he can do. You see what he likes, but that's just a taste. If you really want to know, check him out further. He streams on Twitch, specifically. That's where his streaming platform is. YouTube's the archive. Reddit is how he tries to reach out for collabs, as far as I know. And DeviantArt is where he puts his art. So,
exactly.
Give another round of applause. Go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Speaking of streams, I have 2 lined up, actually.
Yes,
I
tell
have
us.
A stream tomorrow, where I will be downloading, well, the game's pronounced Valhalla, but it's with, like, lots of numbers and stuff. It's a sort of cyberpunky visual novel that I've heard evokes a lot of intense emotion in people, so I think that would be fun to do a blind playthrough of. And Sunday, I'll be doing a collab with Nobody Listens to Mori, which will be on both of our channels.
And she is in our chat today. Nobody Listens to Morty. We'll be collabing, you heard it, with, what game was that? The one you're collabing with Morty. I think Fig wants to know which one that was.
Oh, The game that I'm collabing with Mori on is Left 4 Dead 2, which I've kind of modded. Oh, the previous one. I'll just type it out in chat.
Yep,
Wait a second.
put it in the chat. Left 4 Dead 2 with Morty. Nice, Left 4 Dead 2. So, tomorrow is the game that Fig couldn't hear. You said it was Valhalla, I thought. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's something like... I think you spell it like this.
There you go. So, tomorrow is Valhalla. Nixie, what time? What time can they catch you?
My standard time is... Well, actually... No, wait. 1 p.m. PST is when we started today, but that's a lot later. Damn it, now I have to do maths off the top of my head. Where I'm from, it's like 7 o'clock, but I don't know exactly when it is in the PST time zone, because then I have to do maths.
Well, folks, just follow him, and then you'll be alerted when he goes live. So, Valhalla.
It's a couple hours earlier than today, usually.
There you go.
Time zone, I think GMT +1.
There you go. So 7 o'clock GMT +1. If you convert that, you'll be able to figure out the time zones. Thank you, Fig. Thank you. He's a good guy too, Fig. He hasn't officially debuted yet, but he will in time. Just give him the time.
VTuber.
Yes, he currently has like a nice little still picture of his character. It's very cool.
It's
very
nice.
cool. Yes.
Looking forward to seeing what he can do.
Oh yeah, streams games. He likes like those horror stories where it's just kind of point and click. Those kind of games.
I like those.
Yes, he likes those. He plays those. So anyway, yes. So 1800 Pacific Standard Time. There you have it.
Ah, okay, cool.
So that's what I said. So what? 6 o'clock. Yeah. He needs more horror fix. There you go. So tomorrow, Valhalla with NIXIE BRASSFLOWER. That would be Saturday. On Sunday, you can catch him and Morty. Nobody listens to Morty playing Left 4 Dead 2. Watch him. I don't have him on the show because I feel like I owe it to him. I have him here because I like him. He's a good guy.
Thank you.
No problem. No, I mean it. So,
I mean, the whole reason I reached out to you is because you were just really chill, you know?
awesome. Oh, thank you. I try to get across the chill vibe. I hope I come up. I'm glad I did. I think you told me that before.
It works.
Yes. Success. Progress. The good kind. Not the crazy, makes a no sense kind. His makes no sense. So, and with that, so again, Saturday, Sunday, NIXIE BRASSFLOWER collaborations. You saw the Luna trailer. You can always recheck it later. Give it another good round of applause for NIXIE BRASSFLOWER, for Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, for his performance. Thank you all so much.
Give another round of applause to GEEP himself.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
People always forget the host.
Yes. Morty gives applause. Thank you. Of course,
Thank you.
The host is here all the time, so I guess, I can be taken for granted. So, I don't mind. All the applause. Thank you, Morty. Thank you. All the applause. Let's thank our chat. Let's thank homoerotic subtext and Soul Bad Greg, who for following me while I was asleep. And,
the name still kills me.
So, I don't think I'm going to rate anybody. I'm a little too tired to converse, so I'm just going to cut it off right here by leaving you with...
I'm a little tired as well, so...
so I'll leave us off with the usual, folks. Remember to stay cool, stay sharp, Jeep, and Nixie. Until the next time, out!